Hello. Welcome to the Absent Minded Podcast. This is the week of June 10th. And today we're going to be meeting with my best friends. Drew, you're one of my best friends, right?
I mean, are we really going that far?
Started with kidding. Damn. One of my good friends, Andrew Crandell.
Hey, everybody. How's you guys doing? Doing good?
Yeah.
Doing good? All right, fine.
All right, cool. And then also Travis Stockton, my great friend.
Hey, everybody.
Drew, you're my great friend, too. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, thanks.
But today
where
we're
does
going
it
to
go on the scale between best, great, and or whatever Drew said?
I mean,
What's the...
He said, it was
okay.
kind of like a taken back. Today we're going to be covering Travis's E3 predictions that he went over last week, and what went wrong, what went right,
what went wrong,
and what didn't even happen. So this is the Absent Minded Podcast, and we join weekly to go over gaming, entertainment, video game nonsense. Try not to go too far off on a tangent. And
none of it's nonsense, though.
It's all nonsense. So stay focused. First thing, do you want to get into, Travis, or do you want to start off with something, Drew?
no, I'll let Travis go ahead and take the reins here.
Yeah, I definitely want to just admit to where I was wrong last week, because y'all don't get to hear this a lot. I was wrong about quite a few things.
It's a golden nugget when Travis is wrong, and I do put those in a little bag and open it up around once in a while and be like, oh yeah, Travis was wrong.
So right off the bat, no fucking Rocksteady at E3 anywhere.
Womp, womp.
They actually, literally 2 days after we recorded, they put up on Twitter, hey guys, we're not going to be at E3 this year. So I was already like, are you fucking kidding me? And then if you don't know, these are the people that do the Batman Arkham games.
And is that what you wanted? Do you wanted a new
I don't
Batman
want Batman.
game?
I just want to see what they're doing. Because that was like when they did Arkham Asylum.
4 years, or how long has it been?
Since Arkham Knight. I think
Since
Arkham
their
Knight-
last,
It's been about
since their last
years?
game, I
Their
guess.
last
Sorry.
game was 2016
Yeah.
with Batman Arkham VR.
So around 4 years, yeah. Almost.
So clearly they're working on something. But
Are they?
yeah,
I don't know.
They announced
Yeah.
that they're working on something. Some
Okay.
people thought it was
We
like a
just don't know what it
Superman
is.
game.
Okay.
No, but no one
yeah,
really
there's
knows what it
rumors
is.
swirling.
I did hear rumors about
Yeah,
Superman. Yeah.
But yeah, I was expecting this to be the time they came in. They were not there. And then the other one, as far as like DC stuff, was that Warner Brothers Montreal, one of Warner Brothers' actual internal studios, they had been rumored to be working on a Court of Owls game in the Batman universe. And that was another one that like people thought, oh, okay, well, Rocksteady's not here, but at least Warner Bros is going to show off what they've been working on.
That was something Barrett was wanting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was
and
really
then they
into
also
that.
came out and said, nope, we're not going to be at E3. So
Court of Owls is cool. It's a great storyline for Batman. That's one of the pre-origin kind of stories.
Yeah.
Oh, not pre-origin of Batman, but like of him becoming like the final version of Batman.
Yeah. So no Rocksteady. Another thing I thought we were going to have an announcement of 2 different Xboxes, because we know that the Scarlet family of consoles consists of the Lockhart and the Anaconda. All they talked about was the Anaconda, which they did not name at the conference. They just said it was the Xbox Project
the Scarlet. Yeah.
So only one of those. They did glaze over specs a little bit, did give a release window, which I didn't think they were going to do. They came right out and said holiday 2020. But as far as what they said about the console, not nearly as deep dive as I thought. They basically just repeated everything you read in the Wired article about the PlayStation
Ray
5
tracing.
coming out. Yeah, they literally
120
said all the same
frames.
buzzwords.
Just buzzwords.
They were like going down. What did Mark Cerny say they were going to do? We got to do it too. That was all we got from them. Final Fantasy 16 trailer. Thought that was going to happen. Did not happen. Just like all the other conferences, it looks like everyone.
Yeah, you were
drinking
last
the
week.
Kool-Aid.
You were fucking so
I
convinced.
almost started to believe
You got to will it into the universe if you want
No,
it to
I was
happen.
still doubtful. I
I had my
gotta put
doubts,
out
but
those
I was getting hoped.
Yep.
Because as it went to the end, as the picture frames, they were getting less and less.
I know. I was
They
looking at
had
those
that
fucking
one
frames.
last one. I
Yep.
was like, is this going to be it?
That's the one. That's
No,
what's gonna
it
be,
wasn't.
But no, it wasn't.
Great conference, though. Square Enix definitely, I think. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
All right.
Bethesda, boring as shit. No Quake. I thought there was going to be something to do with Quake. They didn't. The only thing they mentioned about Quake through the entire press conference was that they're making a Doom Con, and they said it's kind of like Quake Con, but with Doom. And I was like, that's the disrespect we're getting here with Quake right now. So no Quake. I wanted Quake. We didn't get Quake.
I thought it was funny how they started off the press conference. So like, hey guys, we worked really hard on 76. You should go back and get.
They didn't apologize enough for 76, in my opinion.
It felt like they were like the BP South Park episode. We're sorry.
I will admit, I did like their battle royale mode. It looked.
We'll get there.
No.
We'll get there.
All right, yeah,
That
he's
was
right.
fucking-
He's right. We'll get into that. All right.
The reason
Keep
they're
going,
getting,
Travis.
the
Sorry.
reason the tangents, I'm trying our best.
You're
people.
right. You're right.
And I wrote out this nice doc. I got it all lined up, put all my information, notes for the
it's
flow of the
bulleted.
show. And apparently nobody
It
read
means nothing.
I'm not at
to
this
me
point.
and
I'm
Andrew.
convinced I didn't write it. I think this is just a fever dream, and this is not paper in my hands. It says how the show was going to go. Anyway, the last correction: Kingdom Hearts DLC was revealed. I thought it was coming in the summertime. It's in fact coming in the winter. Yeah, mind because we're Kingdom Hearts, and
And we have to have that
Nothing
re in
has
front
to
of
be
everything.
normal.
yeah, I'm still giving myself half a point for that one though because it looks like there might be some story in it. We got cutscenes that are not voiced in typical Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer fashion for some reason. New content that visually does look like it's going to be more of just like a boss rush kind of thing with different playable
The only thing I
characters,
saw
but
was Sora transforming, or what I thought was Sora
It looked like his
transforming
final-
into Roxas or Aqua. I couldn't tell exactly.
No.
No,
Maybe
I think
maybe
Roxas
saw
and
wrong.
Aqua, they're going to be
the
their
only
own
shot of
characters.
Sora that we got in the trailer was the fight at
In like midair.
Lucius and Callum
Yeah,
or whatever
didn't he
that final
turn
city.
into Roxas at that point?
No,
Or what did I
no.
see?
That's his
He turned into
master
like one of his
form.
other forms.
Oh,
Yeah.
from Kingdom
I thought
Hearts 2.
I thought it looked like Roxas.
Because that
I'm
was
sorry.
the reveal of the Oblivion Keyblade, which was missing from Kingdom Hearts 3. Anyway, that's it for E3 corrections. I was wrong on those things. I probably missed some because I didn't
Definitely
keep notes last
missed
week.
some. There's some just stuff for us to go over for E3 in general.
Well, we got some news, pre-E3 news, some big news stories I wanted to go over before we actually got into E3. So, first one we have on here.
Technically, E3 has not started proper
It started today.
today. Proper, actually. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Giant
I
Bomb at Night. I told you all that
misquoted.
too.
Yeah.
I'll let you all that on there. Giant Bomb at Night's going on tonight. I'm going to be watching it all night long. You don't have work tomorrow. You should watch
I
Giant
could probably
Bomb
catch.
at Night.
I
What
could probably
time does it
catch
come
that.
on?
I don't know.
Okay.
I watched most of that
But it's live streaming on
pre-show,
their
so
channel.
I can definitely watch that.
Just want to mention that we went to St. Arnold's 25th anniversary cellar tasting event here in Houston.
It was awesome.
It was super, super fun. Tried a lot of nice little beers. Ethan's glazing his eyes over already. He's just like checking out, through the notes on the table. I think he's going to go get some food, actually.
Speaking of food, it was my first time being at the St. Arnold's restaurant.
The little beer garden over there. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Super nice. Awesome food. We both got the same thing. I've never done that at a restaurant before.
You guys
both-
went to a special beer garden and got the same food
We
item.
both we got
Dude,
the
you
same
realize
beers.
how good, man.
You
We
realize
both
how
saw it on the menu and we
limiting
were
that
like,
is?
yes.
We could have had a bite from each other, like sampled a little bit of something else.
No,
Well,
dude,
I
I
tried
wanted
to
my
share
own.
something else, but he wasn't having it. I got an
Yeah.
order of fried green tomatoes. They have chicken steak fried green tomatoes, where it's like
like
it's
a chicken
thick
fried
chicken
like
fried
a chicken
batter.
fried steak batter.
Yeah, like the batter you'd use
but
for that.
Ooh, that
but
sounds good.
Yeah, I
fried
bitched
green
out and
tomatoes.
I didn't try it.
Sliced in half. I told you about this. They serve it with what they call the Million Island dressing instead of Thousand Island.
That's clever.
Got one of those. We both had an orange show because that was what paired well with the tomatoes that he refused to try. Then we got the Texas hot fried chicken, which was just a giant fried chicken breast with
Bone
hot
in?
sauce already on it. No bone. Our plates were empty.
That's fine.
Served on a nice thick slice of toast.
And then came with raclette mac and
Texas
cheese.
toast.
Raclette,
as
mac,
is tradition.
and cheese.
Dude, that shit was so fucking good.
It was delicious. And found out later because they had like a little cheese plate as part of our tasting.
I saw that on your checklist. Yeah, there was
Yeah,
a little
from
bit of a fancy
That
Houston
cheese
Dairy
plate was
Maids.
also great. Yeah, because wasn't their mac and cheese made from that cheese plate
Yeah,
that we had?
the cheese they use for their mac and cheese is the raclette from Houston Dairy Maids that we then sampled the actual, like not raw cheese, but like just a slice of that cheese
Ooh, Dairy Maids.
for our tasting. Yeah, it was. You say that, dude. I really want to go sometime. Actually, maybe that'll be Caitlin and I's first date because they have like tastings. They have free tastings every day. They have like wine tasting events and stuff too. I think they even do beer. But so it's like at first I thought they were just a dairy, but they're like a huge store. So they cater to lots of different like Texas made cheeses and stuff.
You know what they
but
say
then
about
also
kids
stuff
from
all over
dairy?
the country. Yeah, dairy. That's a little it joke for you.
Yeah, it is.
That's about it from the St. Arnold's. I won't get into all the beers and stuff. You're not here for a beer podcast. I just wanted to say that that was a super fun event. St.
Yeah.
Arnold's 25th anniversary. That's a big number for them.
You can check out photos on Instagram, Twitter, and stuff.
Yes, I did take a couple photos with my brand new, by the way, they don't sponsor us, Google Pixel 3a. Takes really nice photos. That's the only reason I've been using Instagram again is because I finally have a non-shitty camera phone and it takes nice pictures.
Anyway,
Yeah, anyway,
Moving
on
on.
to the actual news.
we want
First
to get
one,
into just like the list of.
yeah, I put them kind of in the
Yeah.
order I figured we'd go through, but
Oh, you're still talking about the news and stuff, not like the actual bulleted like video games yet.
yeah.
Okay.
We're still on
Okay,
page
sorry.
one,
Yeah,
people.
yeah, my
This
bad.
this could be a long one, might be a short one. We'll see. If we can run a little smoother and people read the doc, then maybe. I'm just kidding. It's gonna be fine. First little thing I want to point out: Near Automata from Platinum Games has sold through 4 million copies across PS4, Xbox One, and PC. I think that's a pretty big deal because that's a lot of copies for a game franchise that
not a lot of people know.
Hella niche for a long time. Yeah.
Considering how many installments it has in the series, though, it's kind of odd.
Because what is this, the third one?
Fourth. This is a sequel series to Drakengard, which was a very niche, like, action RPG series on PS2.
Series, though.
It's very cool. Always ran like shit, though, which is why I never got into it. Like, they just have really bad
problem of the
issues.
era, honestly.
When did it come out?
The Drakengard games?
Yeah.
Those first two were on PS2, and then Drakengard 3 was on PS3, and is like notorious one of the worst performing PlayStation 3 games out there.
Really?
Yeah, like got really low reviews and stuff because of the performance was so bad. But now, of course, you got emulators and stuff like that.
People can make it run better.
Can really play it. It looks, it's fun. But just a series that's always had a
storyline is just
little
kind
bit
of
of issue.
a little
super
out
convoluted, very
very Evangelion.
It's really cool though if you can dig into that lore and everything. And then Nier was on PS3 and Xbox 360. That was like the sequel to Drakengard 2.
A specific ending of Drakengard.
These games all have different timelines and
different endings.
And
so this was a very specific
ending F of Drakengard 2, and then that's where Nier goes on.
Nier starts, and
that's
then
crazy.
And then Nier has its own endings as well.
Yeah,
and then
which I like that. It's cool.
Yeah.
Like that's nobody really does that.
Yeah, and then Nier Automata is a sequel to one of the endings of Nier.
In itself, in having 26 endings.
Yeah,
also.
but I think part of why it did
Nier
so
Automata
well
has 26 endings.
An ending for every episode of every letter of the alphabet.
They're not all real endings though. So a lot of them are gag endings.
They end the game and they roll the credits. That's an ending.
No, I know. I'm not saying no. It's one of those like because
said that so matter of factly.
4 million people apparently have played this game, but a lot of people. One of the first things you see when people talk about this game is they're like, "Oh, it always sounded kind of neat." But I don't want to play the same game 72 times in a row or whatever.
And it's not really.
They're not. Like there's somewhere it's like you start the game and then you just decide not to progress with the story and that counts as an ending. Little things like that.
Right.
You find them accidentally, some of them. They're so like simple.
There's 5 like main paths or whatever, but even then it's not like you're not replaying the game 5 times.
No, I think if anything, some of them start you back like where you died or where you ended it.
Yeah, all the endings after E are all just like the gag ones where they just restart your checkpoint essentially. But just thought that was cool to mention. I love that game personally.
Yeah,
that was one of my games
of
that year. And I'm hopeful that maybe that means we might get a Nier, the first Nier remaster or something, or
that would be cool.
Just more in this series, maybe even a new. Like I'd love to see like Drakengard remade. Like
I don't think that's the last we'll see from Yoko Taro.
Oh yeah, of course not.
He's been put in the spotlight now, and I don't think he's ever gonna. He's got a cult following that's out there,
dedicated.
He's not gonna go anywhere.
Next up, wanted to quickly talk about Blasphemous from the Game Kitchen. This is a video or a game that got revealed just before E3. If you like angels and demons and like gore and hell and all that good stuff.
If you like Dante's Inferno, not the video game.
Hey, the video game was awesome. No, I like Dante's Inferno.
I remember when it came out.
It's not considered very well liked.
I
enjoyed it. I thought it was very cool.
Yeah,
we played it. It was super cool.
Hold on, I'm going to pull that up real quick. I'm pretty sure.
Go ahead.
That had decent reviews.
It got like 7s and 8s, I want to say.
We've been over this. That's average. Me and Travis.
Well, you're right. It is average, but still, that's pretty good.
I mean,
it's still a fun game.
We also need to check back in with their game lab on their website to see if we can get into that open beta.
No, we definitely should.
Or closed, or whatever it is.
But definitely with like Blasphemous for people like looking for a description. To me, it kind of reminds me. It's got like a Metro
73 on Metacritic. For Dante's
exactly.
Inferno.
It's got like kind of like a Metrovania style.
C- in school.
We're not in school.
Yeah.
We're talking about video games.
Exactly.
I play 70s all the time. Okay. That's all. You got to respect the 7 out of 10.
I'm 70 and 14 right now.
A few weeks ago was, getting all hard for Days Gone. That was getting 7.5.
Exactly. I feel like as an industry, we like to pretend
I
like
want
all
to play
we play
Days
are 8s
Gone,
and
but
9s.
I just don't want to pay $60 for it.
We'll just wait for it. It's on sale right now.
I don't want to pay $40
for like the PlayStation thing.
I don't want to pay $40 either.
Well, check out Blasphemous, guys. It looks super cool. There's a cool gameplay video up on IGN. They have like a 17-minute gameplay.
First 15 minutes or so, it looked really cool.
It's just like the style I mentioned, kind of like that, and the style of like a Castlevania kind of a game. You know what you're getting when I say that. Now, this was an actual story on CNET with PlayStation CEO. Just wanted to quickly go through this one too, because I know a lot of people out there, this is something that happens every time this generation. What's happening with the new consoles? How am I going to play my games? What's the plan going forward? Am I
Backwards
gonna
compatibility.
Yeah, if I buy The Last of Us Part 2 on PS4,
Will I be
am I
able
gonna
to play
have to
it to
rebuy
5?
it on
Yeah.
5? Is 5 gonna have the better game? So I just wanted to go through this article real quick. This is from CNET by Ian Schur. Look up the full article. These are just a couple of quick blurbs out of here. There's some good questions and answers going over things like PSVR and stuff. But the article says, typically the launch of a new video game console is a major transition when old games and your progress in them are left behind in favor of the latest and greatest. Sony wants to put an end to that. In his first interview since becoming Sony's PlayStation CEO in April, Jim Ryan offered some details about the company's successor to its popular PlayStation 4 console, which is expected next year. Among them, Ryan said his company plans to offer cross-generational play, effectively offering players the ability to play a game on their PS4, switch to a new console, and continue and then switch back. Effectively, it won't matter to Sony servers which device they're playing on. As a result, they'll have all the same friends while they do that. Quote, whether it's backwards compatibility or the possibility of cross-generational play, we'll be able to transition that community to next gen. Quote, it won't be a binary choice about whether you have to play either on PlayStation 4 or next gen to continue your friendship, end quote. So that's pretty cool. I think basically what that means, you're playing multiplayer games online. Last of Us 2 is going to have multiplayer, obviously. If you buy that game on PS5 or you're still playing on PS4, you're not going to have separate servers. You're not going to have a separate friends list. Everybody's going to be able to play together, just like if
Now, when he says
still have PS4.
cross-generation play, is he talking about he's not talking platforms at all?
No, this is in this article specifically. He's just saying
console generations.
between PS4 and the future PlayStation,
Right.
which we call PS5, but it's still not.
No, I get what you're saying. So specifically console generations. Is
Yeah.
what he's speaking.
Presumably, though, it does mean that if you're talking about something like, say, Fortnite, that is already cross-play between PS4 or Xbox One, when Fortnite is inevitably ported to PS5, cross-play will still work as it did. I'm sure the next Call of Duty will be the same. If you play Call of Duty Modern Warfare on your on your Xbox One right now, then you get a PS5. Any cross-play or cross-progression and stuff, that will still all... Basically, anything you do on PS5, it's going to work the same way it's been working on PS4. The last little tidbit I had was just... in his conversation with CNET, Ryan said an SSD storage drive Sony custom designed for the console will be offered as part of the default version, which is, of course, good to know. We all want solid-state drives in our consoles. He also added the device will offer ultra-high-definition 4K visuals at 120 hertz, which is twice the screen refresh rate of most TVs. Just wanted to throw that out because that last part is a bit new from the original Wired breakdown and will also play into all the buzzwords that we got about Project Scarlet, which I think was all part of why they went out and Microsoft went out and said 120 hertz during their conference too, because this little article came out.
Everybody
like,
knows
oh, shit, we got to have that checkbox list.
Everybody knows the specs that we want. Their computers are, let's be honest, computers specs are widely advanced compared to the consoles. They can push things. So people know what they want in a console, and Sony and Xbox are trying to give it to them.
Yeah.
And they're, using the same words, but that's just because that's kind of the
all
standard.
the boxes these days are going to be the same.
Yeah, that's
to a point.
That's
yeah.
kind of the standard because that's what people expect. So that's what they're trying to give. It's just
It'd be weirder if they didn't also say those words. Yeah.
Yeah.
But just thought that article was neat. What's up, Drew?
Sony's president saying, they're looking forward to easier transition through like the next console and everything like that. With the next article we have here, Ubisoft planning Rainbow Six Siege for PS5 and not, announcing a sequel anytime soon.
Yeah.
Do you think that's why they're like not announcing a sequel anytime soon? Because they're going with that transition and they want people to be able to like.
I think the next Rainbow Six game, especially a new Siege game, it's going to be on the next gen console. If the one they're having now, it's just going to be DLCs and new stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Till the next one. Just because of the popularity of how much it is. It would be a waste to release a new one on the current consoles and not just wait.
Well, no, what they're saying is the opposite, is that Siege that you're playing today, they're going to port that to the next generation systems, and that will be this. There is no Siege 2.
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
even in the cards.
They're not working for Siege 2 or anything. They're just getting like in I believe in the article, it says like,
well, here, Andrew, do you want to go through? Because I say you can skip through whichever parts you don't feel are relevant, but this answers Ethan's question.
Yeah. So pulling from the GameSpot article, Rainbow Siege 6's developer Ubisoft has long maintained its desire to get the Tom Clancy shooter to the 100 operator mark before making a sequel. The company has again repeated that wish, saying it doesn't plan on making a Siege 2 even when the next PlayStation and Xbox consoles launch. We don't want a sequel whatsoever, Siege's brand director Alexandre Remy told the Daily Star. The reason behind this is we don't want to segregate our community between the different platforms. In an ideal world, we love players from every platform to be able to play together. We are approaching next gen with the same spirit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That makes sense.
basically the same thing that Jim Ryan was saying is that way, if you're on PS4, they don't want all of a sudden Siege 2 to come out and then, well, now you have to upgrade.
Now
They're
you're
like,
not going to be playing with those same people that can only play on the other gen.
Yeah.
They don't
get
want
it.
to separate you from you and your buddies.
And that kind of does go back to what I was saying. Like, they love their game that they have now. They're not going to fix because it's not broken. They're just going to keep doing DLCs and expansion. And if they're going
It's
to,
like what Rocket League does.
yeah, if they're going to port it to the next gen and improve the graphics visually and up the frame rate, and I mean, that's great.
That's basically what this says. Like, their plan is essentially just be like, the next gen version will still be the Siege you play now,
That
but it's going to
people
be
love.
the difference between playing on a mid-range PC to like an ultra high-end one.
And that's great. Yeah, if they boost everything graphically and stuff like that, that's practically a new Siege,
This
which is
what I
what
was
people
hoping
want.
for, honestly, back in the PS3 360 generation when DLC first started, where it's like, you
Don't
get a
make
game
new
like
games,
this.
just push that game to the
Yeah,
next.
like, imagine if when the first Rock Band came out or whatever, that instead of buying Rock Band 2,
You just got more
you bought like
songs.
the $40 expansion, you've got your same disc, it all downloads, and yeah, now you have your new songs.
They hadn't figured that out yet.
Yeah, well, some people have and they refuse to do it. Like, I
Yeah.
think the best example is these sports games where
True.
every year you have to buy
That's-
the new FIFA, the Madden, the NBA 2K just to get what's essentially an updated roster.
Yep, just a roster.
Yeah, it's just like, when are they going to release Madden or FIFA?
Yeah.
And just
I think these companies would be wise to do something similar to what Ubisoft is
like
doing.
a season
because
pass kind of.
The more,
Kind of.
well, Ubisoft with
Like
Siege,
an
they've done
actual sports season
Yeah,
pass.
exactly.
Like,
That's
they've
exactly
done
what I
multiple
thought, too.
season passes. Some people are a little more cynical with it, where it's like, well, I wish all the content was just in the game, but like at this
but
point, you have
IRL
so
content
much
for the
content.
sport gets released like.
Oh, I mean, I'm talking about just for Siege specifically.
Oh,
but
sorry for Siege. I
but-
thought we were talking about like
yeah,
sports
they've
games.
got like a year 2, and I think coming up a year 3 pass. But if you as a customer can trust that like that content you've been playing and the things you have unlocked will stay with you for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. World of Warcraft's been doing that for ages.
Yep.
MMOs have been doing that for a long time.
That's true. Yeah.
Like you don't have to go out and buy a new $60 copy every time World
People
of
bring up
Warcraft
the
expansion
fact
comes.
of, well, what about WoW 2? You don't
Yeah.
need WoW 2.
And now that it's funny, now that Destiny 2,
if anything,
Bungie,
people would just want classic.
And they got it. But that's its own niche.
yeah, and something similar with Bungie and Destiny 2 is now that they've been able to get cut loose from Activision, what's the first thing they did? They said, we're not doing Destiny 3 right now. We're going to push that way out. We're going to make it easier for you to pick which expansions and which content you want. If you're a day one player, here's a free copy to get into the game, similar to Ubisoft with Siege, where right now, for about a year now, they've had a starter pack where you can, without putting any money in, go and get into Siege, start playing this, and maybe later on, if you want to buy a new pass, unlock characters that way or access to new maps and stuff. But I think that's really cool. I think we're going to see that from other games like Fortnite, Rocket League.
Oh yeah,
especially.
it's going to be a trend for sure in this next
We'll
generation.
see. I hope they pick up good, good
The
practices.
The more
but
the big games that are doing well that you wouldn't have expected.
yeah, lead by
The more
example.
you're going to see it.
These other money grubbing publishers are going to have to follow suit, because we've already seen stuff where EA is down this year because they keep releasing bombs of games of service style, between Anthem not doing nearly as well as they thought it was going to, people slowing down on their Battlefield sales and stuff like that. Because again,
Apex taking a
Battlefield
drop.
5 kind of feels like a reskin to a lot of people that was hopping on the hype train with Battle Royale. And now,
Now that that's lost
the call was
its-
answered. We're not
yeah.
interested, essentially, is what you heard from people. So I thought those were a couple two interesting stories. Much smaller ones we're going to breeze through real quick. Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch, finally coming.
Is that the first Ni no Kuni?
Yes.
Is that what it was called?
That's the one that was originally on Nintendo DS.
Yeah,
So that was a cool
not
one
the
too.
Wii or
Well, PS3, even PS3 was a new, like an up HD version of the DS game.
Oh.
And added like all the anime cutscenes and stuff like that. And now
Did
that
not
game
know
is
that.
coming to PS4, PC, and Switch.
It might be a Switch game for me.
Very excited. Oh, you should definitely play it. I think you like it a lot. It's a
I know
very chill, laid back
you're-
RPG.
You've given it great reviews, and I know like Colin Moriarty really enjoys it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I might give it a shot.
Yeah. Of course, it's another one of those where I had to dust off the PS3 last year just to play it. If
Just
I
like when
waited a
you're-
little longer, I would have just gotten my fucking remaster.
PS3. This is gonna be a running gag. Travis's like love and just bringing up his PS3 console
I love PS3
constantly.
so much.
He'll take any chance he can to bring up his
We
PS3.
should just have a dedicated minute to Travis talking about his
Did
PS3.
This is our
somebody-
PS3
Did
minute.
somebody
This is
say? Did somebody say PS3? So,
open the door, slide the curtain open.
Speaking of remasters and remakes, Destroy All Humans.
Yeah,
I don't know if you
Destroy All
ever
Humans.
played that back when it came
It
out.
was
I told
definitely
you-
a rental for
I
me.
Literally
did.
a week
Yes.
ago, before this got announced, I booted up the PS2
Oh, man,
on
and you
PS4
got
version.
one trophy
Popped one trophy, so
to
now I'm
forever.
stuck with it, and I gotta get the fucking platinum on
to
this thing
forever
now.
stain. So now you have to get it twice because you got to
Yeah,
get the
now,
remake.
well, no, now I'll probably play the remaster.
Yeah,
It looks
yeah.
fun.
It
It's a
does.
fun game. I would love to see it updated.
I didn't really get the game when I was playing it the first time. I think it's just the age, whatever, just didn't match up. I don't know.
Yeah, it was funny enough as a kid where you're supposed to think it's funny, but then like you really don't get a lot of the jokes.
Yeah, and I couldn't really figure out what to do. I don't know.
Because even as I was playing with this, I was like, this is some kind of like fast, dry humor. Like,
Yeah.
they are not missing any beats.
It's
on
almost
here.
like I imagine
Mars
if, like, have you
Attacks,
got-
the
yes,
game.
thank you.
Yes,
That's
it's very
exactly
much-
where I was
It came
going.
out
at.
around the same time too, so
No, it didn't. Mars Attacks came out way before Destroy All Humans.
it's a similar time.
No, Mars Attack came out in like 96, 98. I
I
want
want
to
to say
think
98.
I think
Yeah.
Andrew's
But
on
was
the.
it Destroy All Humans? That would have been like,
2004, I think, man.
you know what? Eat my ass, Drew. All right, so we got one more thing on here for the quick news. Actually, we got I'll probably skip this. We'll see.
Yeah.
Did
what you
want to
want.
mention new Persona 5 Royale trailer. Persona 5 Royale officially coming to the West in 2020. I know it's coming out in October this year in Japan.
And that's where you play as 100 Persona characters fighting another 100 Persona characters, right?
No, this is not not Royale.
Persona
Royale.
Oh, I'm sorry, Royal.
The
I read
Royal.
Royale. Sorry.
Yeah. For those that don't know, yeah, Persona 5, it's basically getting like a bit of new content. It's kind of like a 1.5 version. This is very common with Japanese games.
Is it like
where
the
they-
golden version? or-
Yeah, it's very much like Persona 4 Golden. There's going to be a new character. They're adding a new semester to the storyline, new dungeons, probably a
Where
lot of
is
side
this
content.
new character every time in the released version? They just keeping him in a closet until the.
I really don't know how
Like-
these things work. I see. As far as I understand it, it's not like this is cut content and they weren't able to get it out and then they just were like, okay, we're going to make
So
a
it
revive.
was-
It's more that like when they make these games, they want to add more to it. Like they finish the game, they get it out, and then they're like, ooh.
And then somebody has a good
what if
idea.
we also did this and this and this and added like it's fairly common. Like you remember back in the PS2 days, like the Final Fantasy games, it was very common for those to get international versions.
Yeah.
Where it would come
It's
out in
true.
Japan, that would come out,
6 months, 8 months
translate
later.
that, put it out in the US. Usually the US version has a couple new things, and then the Japan audiences are like, well, we want that stuff too. So like, okay, guys, well, here you go. Now so here's the international version. I think it's a similar thing where it's just like they have more ideas. People, the fan base for these games are ravenous. They don't mind if all you're getting
Ravenous.
is another character and like another semester.
We
I'm
want
buying that
more
shit day
Persona.
one, and I
So-
put 120 hours into Persona 5, and I cannot wait to replay this next year. So
So,
I'm part of the problem.
like, if you restart the game, like,
There's
will
no
the ga-
carrying your content over.
no.
It's
I'm
a-
just asking, like, if you restart the game with that new kit, like, you download the DLC and then you
It's
restart
not DLC. This is a new game.
Oh, a new game.
This is a
excuse me.
new disc. You're buying a new
okay.
retail
So, like,
product.
even if you have Persona 5, like, original, you can't, like, just
nothing
download it
transfers
separately.
over. Yeah, it's
Okay,
a brand
all
new
right.
thing. It's as if you're playing the game for the first time. Again, our more cynical American tastes might hate the idea of something like that, but they love it in Japan. They're just
Oh, yeah,
they're all
definitely.
about it. I love it too.
I don't know. The people that have bought Skyrim 6 times would probably beg to differ.
Well, fuck those people. They're also part of the problem.
Anyway,
I want it from my microwave. Another quick little tidbit.
No,
This
man,
is
you
just
gotta
a
get
fun
Skyrim
news story.
fridge.
Nintendo 64 returns to E3 for the first time in 23 years since its
Oh,
reveal.
I missed this.
What is this?
So this is a little retro console. It's not from Nintendo. It's from one of those companies that just like makes the thing. You go to the shopping mall and you buy a little thing and it runs your old games
Sure.
or whatever. Higher quality version of that, but this is a small Nintendo 64, works with actual game carts. So and it has HDMI output, so you can hook it up to your high definition television.
Supports original controllers.
Original controllers as well as the 2 bundled controllers that it gets. But yeah, if you want to plug in your old N64 controller,
Now-
your old, dirty, grimy N64, it's compatible with all that stuff.
So, with the new controllers, are they better designed?
No, not necessarily. From what I
do you
understand,
need 3 hands to work it?
there might be more impressions from it because I know it's on the show floor at E3. You still need 3 hands to use this thing.
Okay.
From what I understand, it's
or just 2 really
made
good
to be,
hands.
It's made to be
you know?
like
Are
a
you and a buddy?
replica of that controller. So I just thought that was neat that it's one of those kind of like they'd done something similar. I think it was even the same company where they had one that was like kind of like for Sega Master System and Genesis, where it ran the actual cartridges and stuff. This is not something where it's preloaded with all 130 bootleg games. It's more
it actually
like
runs the cartridges and everything.
Yeah, hey,
like that.
you don't have the money for one of these expensive converter boxes to use your actual N64.
Yeah, because those converter boxes get pricey.
The high quality ones can get very expensive. Yeah, but just thought that was neat. And then one last final non E3 news story: Uncharted movie finally gets a release date of December 18th, 2020. We still don't know anything about it except that Tom Holland is supposedly going to play Nathan Drake.
I had no idea this was a thing.
You didn't even know this was a thing?
Nope, no idea.
Okay. This got announced like
Tom
a year ago, I
Holland,
think.
leak this?
Isn't
did
Tom
it get announced
Holland a
before
little
Tom Holland
young
leaked it?
to play Nathan Drake?
Tom Holland's like 20.
He's 22
or something.
No, he's like 22,
older than that.
23.
Fair enough. That's fine. But
I'm pretty
I
sure.
think
He just looks. He's
I
got
looked
that
at some
perpetual
not
baby
too long
I'm
face.
ago.
too young
Yeah,
to
look
play
that up,
Nathan
Drew.
Drake. Tom Holland looks younger than me.
Well, so the entire thing too was that like they came out right off the bat where the story is not adapting the games.
Oh,
and that
okay.
it is like an origin story type thing where it's
So
it's a
he doesn't-
younger,
'cause I was
it's
gonna
more
say, yeah,
inexperienced Nathan
for sure.
Drake.
So it's not like Uncharted 4 with his brother.
No.
It's completely
23.
He's 23.
boom.
I mean, yeah, that's enough.
That's a young boy.
That's young enough to be.
Yeah, that's
I'm not
enough.
gonna-
That's enough for an origin
I
story.
won't be surprised that this guy somehow is able to like rock climb the sides of mountains and stuff because at least at that point you're old enough. You decide this is where your life is going.
He's already
I'm
ripped
out of
as fuck.
college. I'm going to the gym. I'm putting on my holster and I'm gonna go get some treasure. Okay. I don't think he's too young for it.
Sounds like a kid with something to prove, but
I
that's
watched
just
that
me.
movie. That
I
you know
will
what? That's
I
perfect.
will watch that movie.
This kid
He'll
has
be
got something to
25
prove.
at that point, so
Exactly. Well, they're probably gonna be.
It would have already
shooting
shot
it.
it
exactly.
by then, yeah.
Right.
So
But still.
his beard will have just been coming in.
And Tom Holland, we trust. I can totally see. There was somebody, of course, who already did like a mock up of what it might look like, and they put on like the Nathan Drake
the outfit,
the heather
yeah.
gray shirt, and the holster and everything,
The
and
necklace,
he's
yeah.
like dirtied up his face a little and made his arms way too ripped. It looks super weird, but
He's a skinny guy.
I could see it happen.
He's kind of a skinny kid.
He plays Spider Man. It's gonna be fine. Maybe we'll get an even more ripped Spider Man the next time we'll see him in the Marvel movies after Uncharted.
So now for the meat and potatoes of the show, I believe we're gonna
E3.
we're kind of gonna go through
Bubba
just like
boom.
the timeline of E3 that happened and what
Yeah, this is mostly in order from
Yeah,
like the conferences and who went when and what they went over.
Yeah, and I think we may have like a little bit of something to say each. I don't know really how much Andrew actually saw. I know me and Travis.
you guys were definitely more like paying attention than I was because I was busy all weekend.
And that's fine. That's why we're here sometimes. Pick up each
Can't
other's
believe you
slack.
didn't take off work because you knew E3 was coming.
Sorry, man.
I could
I
have
had to help my brother's boyfriend move.
just as easily been me. So
But yeah, so EA Play went first. This is just a streaming thing. They didn't do a conference this year.
I don't know if I actually watched this.
That's
the play part.
The only positive I can say about E3's or EA at E3 is that they knew when not to do a conference. Thank you, EA. That's the only pro you're going to get from me today.
I did
okay.
not watch. I don't think. Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did.
You probably glossed over some
I
of
couldn't
it.
know
You-
'cause
you
I
might
did
have seen some
see-
separated, like some cutout interviews and stuff like that.
I saw the Sims 4 expansion. I did see Apex, and then the Jedi
Yep,
stuff.
Island Living, is that the name of
Yep.
the Sims 4
Island
expansion? Yep.
Living
I love the Sims games. I've been playing those games since I was a little kid.
looks fun.
I
Looks
get
like another
super
Sims
excited
expansion.
to spend another $40 every fucking time they announce these things.
I was thinking about this the other day. Do the Sims still do cheat codes?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, there you go. That's how you get
That's
in
actually
that
kind of
game,
cool. I like that.
Drop your
Because like
fucking-
cheat codes are all pretty much extinct.
Just type Rosebud 100 times. Buy your little robot that cleans up your house. Rosebud's the code that you put in to get like 10,000 simoleons.
Unlock Citizen Kane.
No, but that's the joke. I mean,
What?
it's just
Really, Drew?
That's always been the code.
Rosebud. It's from.
Let's not even.
Never mind.
yeah, just
Really?
yeah. I've never actually seen Citizen Kane.
But you don't even know like the.
Just like some
It's
higher
like a,
level
it's like a,
references.
yeah,
of it.
it's like a
like a pop
60-year-old
culture
like
thing, yeah.
pop culture reference. Yeah,
I've heard it. I just
Maybe we'll
Not
get
in a long time.
Did they make a
it's
pop?
his sled. Okay,
Did they make like a bobblehead pop thing
For
of
Citizen Kane?
Do you think they got one out there?
would it be like a smashed snow globe or would it just be the old man in bed?
Old man in bed.
Well,
He's in his little bed. He's got the little big pop head. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So they also had the first gameplay reveal for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Now, before you talk shit, I have a quick question. Did you happen to see the other gameplay demo they had? Because they did a second demo.
no. I've only seen the one.
that showed more of the lightsaber combat and stuff, and it looked a lot smoother than what they. Because I think this is one where they this would have been the benefit of them having a conference because they could have pre-recorded their gameplay demo instead of doing it live. I think part of it was that whoever was playing live, it just happened to be a bad run. Those things happen. I'm sure that was rehearsed a bunch of times, but I know that the second gameplay demo I watched of lightsaber combat and stuff, Ethan's about to pop his top. It looked a lot better to me. I was less aggravated, or not aggravated. I was less negative about what we saw than I think you guys were. I'm cautiously optimistic still, but Ethan, what are you trying to say? What do you got? What do you got for me?
I guess it's just nitpicks. It's really like
You did this the first episode too, when you were like,
it's very
like
early
you were
on.
raring to go, had something crazy to say, and
I
then
thought
it's
about
just
it,
totally normal.
Because I thought about it, and it's just, it's not worth like the explosion. But it's very early, and so I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt.
My stuff was nitpicky too. I thought some of the animations weren't quite as smooth as I wanted them to be.
True.
Like, see this tad,
Like whenever he like jumped around and got behind him and then did like that.
So I know from what little I know about in my expert field of game animation was I think that has to do with the blending of animations. I watched a cool GDC conference not long ago with how well they did it with Uncharted 4.
Oh, nice.
Because that's such a good example.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
When blending is done right. Like you can't tell when the model is, you can't see the matrix where you're like, oh, the model's going from one animation to the other. That was what seemed a little less smooth in what we saw. Yeah, like especially jumping onto the walls and wall jumping off of things and little things like that just weren't quite as smooth as I liked. I thought the graphics were almost like really good in spots and then like really not so great in other spots. Like I felt like the depth of field
I was watching it on my phone
and
the connection was kind of cutting in and out. I haven't bothered to watch it on a better monitor yet.
I'm gonna read from my notes.
Yeah,
and it just says boo, comma, mediocre, and then underlined, why do we need a robot?
because it's Star Wars. You gotta have a droid.
Every companion has a robot.
Everyone's got a droid buddy.
Yeah, and he's going to be a comic relief.
Droid buddy. Luke Skywalker, droid buddy.
Ray, droid buddy.
Kylo Ren, worst Star Wars character ever. No droid buddy. I'm just kidding. I literally
You know who didn't have a droid buddy?
Who?
The guy from The Force Unleashed. Because he didn't need
That's not canon.
Yeah, that's not canon.
Oh, who cares?
We don't have to consider that. That's not canon.
Fucking canon.
Yeah, so like
it was the coolest
so
the
it seems
Force
like
has ever been.
The read of the room is
wait and see.
Lukewarm to cool.
Wait and
on
see
this.
is basically
definitely wait and see.
I hope we see some more some tightening up, but isn't this coming out? Is this another November game?
Did I write down a?
No, I think it's a 2020 game.
Is it really?
I did not write down any
Drew,
sort
could you
of
verify?
release.
Please?
You have the computer in front of you.
I know, but it's weird. I have certain things pulled up.
Okay,
I want to
that's
have.
fine.
Okay, I was going.
Actually, I'm stupid. I do have the computer in front of me. I had Jedi Order pulled up. Release date November 15th, 2019.
Wow.
So that was the part that stood out to me where it's like, okay, that's in the window of where I don't like to fall back on the whole it's just alpha gameplay. They're going to fix it up, because when it comes to certain companies and publishers, EA in particular, that usually is not the case. Usually what you see is what you get, and then they spend the next 9 months fixing things, and then before that they're trying to get you to pre-order the sequel. Like I feel like that's just the usual rotation. Yeah, 4 months is not a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm optimistic because I really like Respawn. Those are the guys, of course, that did Titanfall and most recently Apex Legends. And their pedigree goes back to the founding of Infinity War and stuff, who did all the Call of Duty games before that became a multi-studio franchise. So kind of worried, not too worried, sort of worried. I don't know. But
very up in the air.
It did not blow my skirt up like I was hoping it would compared to how we felt looking forward to this. But maybe that's a good thing. Yeah. You know, sometimes it's good to not be hyped.
They did show some new Apex Season 2 stuff and some new Apex stuff in general that I kind of...
hero, Watson. She seems pretty cool. She can like do these electric force fields, like electric fences.
Her power is based off the shield tech in the game.
Right.
I think her and her dad.
So this was one of y'all's predictions, or not predictions, but hopes. Did we get a new map? Did they talk about the map at all?
I don't think
they talked about map events, and they did tease at something coming to the new map with a little trailer of... I think it was like it looked like a dragon's eye. Have you seen like the skeletons and the wasteland parts of the map? It seems to maybe be an alive one of those coming to the map to kind of do something.
But cool. Well, it was stuff that made y'all think, "Ooh, I'm going to jump back in when season 2."
They released.
I'm going to jump back in either way.
I'm probably going to jump back.
Yeah,
the Leviathans are moving. the big creatures are moving. So
maybe
moving isn't going somewhere else, or like they're just moving.
They're just
around?
moving. Well, right now it looks like they're just making a circle around the island, but they're moving.
maybe
for the
that's
first
what
time.
they're talking about.
See, that's the kind of shit that I wish
that
I
what-
cared about.
Is that like the
Fortnite.
dragon thing? Is that what they're talking about?
I
guess?
have no idea. Maybe
Oh.
it could be like the dragons coming out from somewhere and the things are moving away.
That
you
might
know,
get
that
maybe.
could be
See,
something.
that was I never got into Fortnite. I don't think any of us really did, but that was one of the
I did for
cooler
a little
things.
bit, but it was more just a money hole.
Yeah,
I wanted to see what it was about.
but seeing
wasn't my thing.
the way that community gets excited over the small things.
I
and
do like the
lore
events in it.
drops.
Like I still go to the subreddit and I'll like look for little bits
Yeah.
of lore and everything. It's
Fortnite
fun.
events?
Yeah.
They're like scavenger hunts. I don't see the draw.
Not all the time, because I mean, some of them wasn't it things where like
No,
the moon was moving a certain way. and-
Okay, yeah. The Marvel Avengers event, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
You could be the Avengers and stuff
And
like
the
that.
John Wick
Thanos.
thing.
See,
I
I
didn't
could
see the
see
John
something
Wick
like that.
But they
happening.
actually released a
But
John Wick
like
skin.
outside of special events like that, their map events, it's just go here, look for this thing. I've seen tons of videos of people.
Sure, but that's something where Fortnite for them is like a new IP. Maybe they don't know how to make something super cool in universe. Apex is tied to Titanfall.
Yes,
So like
they have
I think-
they have a universe to pull assets from.
yeah, I think from
Which
a
they are
storytelling
doing.
perspective, yeah, they have. I'm more interested
That fire grenade.
in if they take that same path
Yeah.
and do some stuff that's like that, like get you excited, and then there's payoff.
They mentioned that they're bringing the new gun that they have that they're bringing in. I think it's an elite, a legendary yellow, whatever that drops only in the payloads. It's a gun from Titanfall 2.
Oh, really?
From Titanfall 2. I can't remember which one it is. I don't remember if the names
One
have
of
been
their,
changed
I
at
think
all.
one of the snipers from Titanfall 2 is also in Apex.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And he also, they also
Caber, I
mentioned-
think it is, or whatever it's called.
Caber.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big sniper rifle,
Mhm.
right? Yeah. And then they also mentioned that a certain weapon named after an African place will be viable
Wakanda?
soon. No, Wakanda forever. No, Mozambique obviously is what they're talking about. So
Are they buffing Mozambique?
they're gonna
finally?
definitely
Can we
buff
dual wield Mozambique?
and make it usable. Dual wielding Mozambique. I think I've been saying that since the beginning. That would be dope. 6 shots, shoddy handguns. It's awesome.
That's the only buff you'd need for that gun. Is just let me have 2.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let me
Honestly.
use both of them.
But
You're getting 4 on the map anyway. Like in every room you go
new
to.
season is called Battle Charged. Or,
Oh, so it has a subtitle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
I
okay.
think is what it was. It's like blue lightning and stuff like that. Yeah, it looks cool. Like they have the elite
And that
event.
makes sense with Watson and her character
Yeah,
style. So.
they have the elite event going on too, where it's like, you know, if you're in the top 5, you get a special queue for, you know, the best of the best, and you get access to like super hyper leveling for your season pass and access to like elite skins to show off to people like, hey,
So
I'm
something to look forward to.
that's actually
and look
current.
into
The
for-
legendary
oh,
event's
that's a new
current
update?
right now, and I think some of the other stuff is actually coming out pretty soon. So we'll see.
Did they put a launch date on season 2?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
can't remember, but I could be wrong.
Now, Microsoft.
So you actually have one missing from this?
I left a lot. There's more than one.
Okay,
This is just
sorry.
the stuff I gave a shit about.
Oh, okay. Well, I like so the Outer Worlds. They started off with that, and
Oh,
they.
well, I didn't put that because that's just a new trailer. That's not like a new
Oh,
announcement.
okay. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was released to October 25th. The date I didn't know if that was new either. So I just, but it looked
Well,
cool.
I
I
think
still.
the date had already been revealed.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When
sorry.
you and I were hanging out the other night when we were watching the event, you made an interesting point that I didn't think of, that Outer Worlds might be a little bit shorter. Like the critical path will probably be only about 25, 30 hours. I mean, this isn't
Yeah.
off any sort of like info. It's just,
Well, I think they might. That's something I think I pulled because when they revealed the game last year, I think that they talked about that a little bit. Was that it was not going to be like this huge 100-hour RPG, that they were kind of doing a smaller scale thing. And I think now we know part of that is because they were in talks with Microsoft at that time to get acquired. And of course, to make those talks go more smoothly, you want to show that, hey, we can by ourselves, we can rein in projects. We aren't going to like be loose cannons if you give us that blank check, which I'm surely Microsoft is going to be providing them with because they want all these studios to be as creative as possible with their work. But yeah, I just kind of glossed over that because we'd seen it. It wasn't a really cool new trailer. I'm still super looking forward to that game. We are both very excited.
It looked
between me and
better
Drew.
than what I'd seen previously, so I was a little more hyped than I was before. That's probably why.
All
wrote
I
it
had to
down.
see was Obsidian. They're making a good version of Fallout, and it's probably not going to be buggy as fuck. And I love those guys, and
Yeah,
I
dude.
can't wait to play this.
Fair enough. All right, moving on.
Bleeding Edge from Ninja Theory was announced. This had been leaked just a little bit before E3. This is kind of like a shrug moment for me.
It was a tech alpha that they showed, I think, right?
This is not my kind of game, really. I didn't know if you guys thought it was particularly interesting.
No,
it's that melee
pass.
fighter, right?
Yeah, they keep saying 4v4 melee fighter, but then every
there's
clip
people
I
with
see is
ranged
people
weapons.
firing
There's
guns
someone
and
with
shit.
a fucking minigun.
So I don't
I haven't seen it.
This is
much
one
of
right
it, so.
away. I feel like the marketing is going to be weird with
It's
it.
the Overwatch-esque one, right? Like they're trying
it
to.
looks like Overwatch and Fortnite
Okay.
with the brighter colors. Maybe even a little Borderlands in there, like the kind of steampunky
Battleborn kind of
Okay,
thing.
so not really
thing.
something for there. For us
You
for
mentioned
there.
Battleborn in the pre-show. No one talks about Battleborn anymore.
Well, I know,
If
but
you
it
say
says that in-
Battleborn,
What
no
is
one knows
Battle-
what you're talking
what
about.
is Battleborn?
Ethan doesn't know what Battleborn is. No, let's
Is that like
scratch it.
Brawlhalla?
It's not even worth knowing. We're gonna pass right
yeah,
by it.
just
Anyway,
ignore
not
it.
even
So wait,
worth
there is
anything.
one that you missed that I did want to mention because I
go for it.
fucking loved the way it looked. Ori.
Yeah.
That was another one that had been revealed. I loved Ori.
Oh man,
and the Blind Forest.
it was a platformer. It looked like Hollow Knight with this amazing color scheme added
so you
to
didn't
it.
play the first one.
That's
No,
one we should do.
Oh,
with,
man.
with recording because I have it on the Xbox.
I would
could-
be willing to go. Well, even better, we could record on the PC because it's on Game Pass now. We capture higher resolution video for it. Oh, well, no, it's 1080p.
Yeah, it's 1080p
Never
anyway.
mind.
So.
But yeah, I guess because Will o' the Wisps is this one's like
It's the sequel,
undertitle,
yeah.
so yeah, it's a sequel. February 11th, 2020. I saw this and I was immediately like, oh, I'm so hyped for this. It looked
very excited for that
gorgeous.
game. Of course, this
Have you
one
played
will
Hollow
be.
Oh yeah, I love Hollow.
Okay.
This one will be the first one that is released with Xbox One X
Dark
support,
Souls, man. I love Hollow.
which means it's going to be 4K on Xbox One X. It's going to have HDR, which is going to be great for a game like this.
It's so vibrant.
Yeah, so
that was just an honorable mention for me.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I left off a lot of stuff where it's like we were just getting updates on
and that's
them.
fine.
But if it's something in particular that you haven't seen too much of, feel free to shout it out. Next up, we had Minecraft Dungeons. Not really. Another
If you
one in
like
my mind.
story mode, you'll probably like this one.
Yeah, I'm just kind of interested that like this is the first real project that Mojang has done since Minecraft. I think there were some smaller things in between because I know they worked a little bit with Telltale, RIP, for story mode and stuff. And that's another one that there's fucking mobile ports for everything. I think only recently they stopped doing updates for the PS Vita version. So it was just cool to see that they were actually doing something new. It looks kind of Diablo-esque. You're going to run around with your friends.
Yeah,
get loot.
it's more Minecraft stuff.
Yeah, I don't care so much about
Yeah.
that. But it was just cool to see them doing something. I was wondering when Microsoft was finally going to have them
Sure.
get into work, We got the reveal of Blair Witch.
Super random. Thought it
Yeah,
was something
really,
completely
really
else.
weird.
And then
What?
just
I didn't look up anything into this. So
Looked great,
it looks
actually.
awesome. And
Yeah.
they had an extended gameplay demo too
Really?
in one of the after conference interviews.
are we
This
getting
looks
like a
fucking
Dead by
awesome.
Daylight kind of thing?
No,
or-
it
no,
looks
this
like
looked like
it's-
an actual like
It looks like a
adventure,
single
horror.
player, like psychological
Really?
thriller
Okay.
set in like the Blair Witch universe.
So
I
is
don't know.
it-
If there's
is
a
it
whole lot of
first
lore
person?
around it.
There's a couple
it's
of
first
movies.
person,
I mean,
So
yeah.
is it like the movie? Are you going to be like looking through a camera the whole
it
time?
looked
or?
kind of Fatal Frame-ish, a little bit.
A little.
Yes.
So I didn't watch the extended gameplay, so I didn't catch any of that interview.
I don't
But
know if what I watched
saw-
was extended.
What we saw in the trailer that they showed at E3 was basically you're playing a guy, you get a dog.
Yep. You have a dog. You wander into a
I
forest.
just assumed you weren't going to play it because it's got a dog, and you know that dog's dying at some point.
Or he's like the ghost all along.
He's the guy. That's the Blair Witch. We were the Blair Witch all along.
We were all the Blair Witch.
It was about the Blair Witches we make along the way.
I am the good boy, Ethan.
This game looked very cool. I want
Yeah.
to see what was the developer for this one. Bloober Team. Yeah, I've never heard of these guys before.
Yeah,
So this might be
that's a
like
new
their first
name.
game. I need to look more into that. But as far as the way it looked, it was first person. You do have a camera. You're kind of walking through the woods.
It looked like there might have been a little third over the shoulder too.
Could have been, yeah.
Yeah.
This is my problem with a lot of what happened at E3 this year is so much of what we got as far as new IP were just CGI trailers.
Can't tell if it's gameplay.
And there's so
yeah.
and that's the other thing too, where like games just look so good these days that depending on the
CGI
experience,
videos look good. Yeah.
yeah,
So
who knows if this was gameplay or
Yeah.
not? It could have all been CGI. So
There was.
I don't know that we know too much about how this game is going to play, but you should definitely check out the trailer. It looked super cool. Almost gave me like some Silent Hill vibes a little bit. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. That was probably the biggest surprise.
What the
from like
fuck? Yeah.
I put what in the notes here. So that was definitely a cool thing to see. Then we got a new Cyberpunk 2077 all CGI trailer, which again, I'm not a huge fan of these, but this one was super cool. That
Yeah.
was all CGI.
It was?
Yeah, it's all CGI.
You know what was even cooler?
Keanu Reeves.
Fucking
being
Keanu
revealed.
Reeves
Keanu
showing up
Reeves.
in the trailer and then at
In
the
real life,
at
at
the
the event.
conference.
Yep.
Presented the release date for that.
Yes.
Actually, yeah, we have a release date.
April
of
16th.
April 16th,
Yes.
2020. Yeah.
Man, CD Projekt Red. If it's as out as the park as The
They just
Witcher
keep,
was
like, outdoing themselves, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, this one I don't think is going to be any less than great. It can either be from great to like stellar to masterpiece. I don't think it's going to be any worse.
It was so cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
We have a world
super
to
excited
burn.
for that one.
Yeah, and then next up we had a Battletoads trailer.
I
didn't see
mean,
the trailer, but like,
It's
if I know
just a
anything
little-
from Battletoads, I hope this game is going to be hard as fuck.
It's just
Did you ever play the original
beat 'em up?
Battletoads?
No,
It's
I
hard
don't
as
really
fuck.
I
think
don't like
am.
the art style though. I almost wish they had done something that more
More
was
original?
like no, not even original,
or
but
more to the original,
more
source.
16-bit. Yeah, like less like cartoony,
Is it-
more. It's like full blown. It looks like cartoon cutouts and stuff. And
Okay.
like
So is it still like the
It looks
original?
like so
the
many
2D
cartoony
side?
things
Is
you've
it
seen.
like a side scroller 3D?
side by side beat 'em up or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it does have like the 3D sections where you're like, I guess you rode motorcycles at some point in
Yeah.
Battletoads. I don't know. I didn't play this game. I'm not part of the meme, but the meme is all part of us now because it.
Internet.
a
Make
real
sure you
thing
call
now.
your local
Yeah.
GameStop and ask them if they have Battletoads.
Yeah, but be ready to actually pre-order because those people will. Those guys got to be ready to just lose their shit on somebody at this point. Things are not going. By the time this game comes out, you might not be able to call GameStop to pre-order it. It's going to be beep 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 because they're not going to be able to fucking answer you because the store shut down 6 months beforehand.
So you glazed over possibly my biggest surprise moment. Or I guess the thing that I was most excited for coming out of Xbox and Microsoft, just because I don't own an Xbox or PC and I'm just not excited for any of those things. Halo Infinite.
I didn't gloss over that. That's at the end.
Is
Yeah.
it? Oh,
Yeah.
are you saving that one for the end?
Another moment where nobody read the show doc.
I
didn't
have
save
my
it for the
notes
end.
in order.
Halo Infinite was the last thing they revealed. They revealed it near the end, along with the Project Scarlet, because they announced that it was coming alongside Project Scarlet in holiday 2020.
No, Halo was before Gears of War 5. I have everything written down. in
Oh,
order.
well, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But I didn't want to
Maybe.
pair it with Scarlet because,
Maybe.
yeah, it's coming. I guess, yeah, if you want to talk about Halo, it was another CGI trailer. I don't give a fuck. I'm
It's
just
Halo.
I don't care.
Come
Halo
on.
does not have the pedigree it used to
Oh
have.
man, that was
Halo
that's
5
true.
was
That
not-
Master Chief stuff. I guess it just hit a nice spot for me
It
because
had
I
some
just,
moments, but I was
it's
also
a great
like,
character.
they took the Tony Stark thing from Endgame, like the guy just sitting out by himself, stranded on a spaceship, like totally copped that.
I guess. I mean, Frozen Master Chief. You could say that was like Frozen Thor, but I mean, sure, parallels. But
No, I'm talking about the guy who was trapped in
no,
the
I know what
ship.
you're saying. Yeah, it was Tony's. Yeah, I know what you meant.
It's some superhero just shows up and saves it last second. I'll believe it when I see it, kind of thing. As much as they showed for the little tech demo last year, and like because that was all in-engine stuff, like
Yeah.
gameplay and not gameplay because there was no game, but like it was in-engine stuff. It was not a pre-rendered visual thing. I expected something way different than that little story tidbit, and to me that just continues. I think there's a theme for Xbox's conference where they are not ready to show anything for the most part, but they had to try because everyone was watching them because there was no Sony.
Sony had it right.
I think if Sony was at E3 this year,
I have.
Microsoft's conference would have been very different and no one would be talking about it at all. And now we're over here picking up the scraps because it's all we had this year.
And I have a quote from Greg Miller from Kind of Funny that I wanted to bring up actually, and this is a perfect moment.
Go for it.
He said, PlayStation saw the lineup and was like, we don't need to be here. We're moving to a new console,
Exactly.
a new generation. No reason to get dragged through the coals like we are doing to Microsoft right now.
I don't like to get into like the industry, like clearly they didn't have the full lineup, or maybe they had a couple hints.
They
but
had to have had some ideas.
I think just because of how well that they manage their internal studios and their first parties and stuff, they're looking at that list of acquisitions and thinking, okay, cool.
and they
that
laughed.
happened. No, not that so much as like they know because they're looking at like
The
how long it
future.
took Bend to make Days Gone.
Yeah.
They're looking at how long it's taken to cook Ghost of Tsushima. It's like we've been dealing with first party studios on their own, like on a very long leash for a while. We know that these guys are not going to have games to show
Yeah.
this year. And it's essentially, it's going to be, do we want to go and show a few of the trailer? Because like I said, the stuff I skipped, it's like, well, we saw Ori last year. We saw the Outer
And
Worlds
that's,
last
I
year.
did not know that. And that's,
Sony
that's
didn't
my
go
bad.
because they didn't want to have to show you another cut of another Last of Us trailer.
Sure, you're-
and
and
another
you're
Ghost
right.
trailer.
Yeah.
And they're like, instead of doing that, let's let these people keep working. Let's let them keep
Let's
plugging
let
away.
them wonder.
Let them hit release dates. Yeah, let's leave it in the air,
Yeah.
wondering what we've got going on. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a great fucking quote though, and that's
Yeah.
essentially how I feel about all of this as well. I wanted to talk about The Legend of Wright real quick.
That looks fucking dope.
I don't know
Yeah,
what this
I
is.
caught this trailer today. It's almost one I glazed over a little bit. Actually, by the way, real quick shout out to
that one. Actually, I do
there's
remember
an awesome
that is.
website called e3recap.com that's been running for a few years now. The layout is super clean, but essentially it's run by one guy who goes and essentially plucks all the trailers off of YouTube and stuff and puts them in order of when they're revealed, so that if you haven't seen a press conference and you don't want to watch Phil Spencer on stage or like all the little in-betweens, you can go to this website, super clean layout, click all the videos you're interested in. Once you've seen something, you click a little button that grays it out so you know you went over it already. He updates it all throughout E3. That's essentially what I use to like get caught up for today when make my list as far as and double check which trailers do I really want to watch, which ones am I not that interested in. But Legend of the Wright,
Not
this
all
is coming
heroes wear
from-
capes, people.
This is coming from Deskworks. This game just looked super cool. It was
looked
basically
It looked like a comic book Scribblenauts to me, and I just I turned away.
So I don't know too much about what Scribblenauts is, but this essentially to me
DS game.
looked like, like a notebook full of the scribbles we all made as kids come to life. It's an RPG with, high fantasy kind of stuff, but it looks like you're sitting at a desk in a kid's room or something.
Because sometimes it pans out from like the actual thing, and you're
Yeah.
like sitting at a desk or
It's
something
got like
else.
those,
Yeah.
like some of the animation looks like the flip books that you used to be able to draw. It has had an art style that immediately grabbed me. The first thing that stood out was how much fucking work had to have gone into making this game.
For sure.
Because it's
There's a lot of different
gorgeous.
animation styles in there, Rose.
Yeah,
hand
it's
drawn,
very mixed
yeah.
media, incredibly highly detailed. This was just one that immediately jumped
I
out to
should've
me
paid
as
more
like
attention.
a labor of love.
Yeah, really. Shame
And-
on you.
I mean,
Yeah,
I, know,
would.
obviously I have something to contribute. I know what it is. I didn't like.
That's one. If you have to go back and catch up on trailers you might have missed, I would write that one down in your book
Yeah.
and think, okay, let me take another look at this.
It is not written down.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to be super cool. Yeah, like I said, this is from Deskworks. That was just one that, out of all of the maybe indie things or just smaller games I wouldn't have expected to like, that was one of the standout moments of the conference for me. Next up, we got Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is another
Hoorah.
one that I don't know if you have any of y'all have experience with this. My dad used to play this on computer all the time when
It's
when
been
I was
around
a
for
kid.
a long time.
It was a series that was gone for a long time. Actually, that was probably another
Oh,
huge
whoa.
surprise. They quit. This used to be a yearly installment where like as the game engine would just get better, because this was back when when from one year to the next year for like PC hardware, those were leaps a lot of times in visual fidelity
Yeah.
and what they could render
Yeah.
out on the screen and stuff.
If I can interrupt you really quick, I remember back when I was in like junior high or maybe high school, I was looking through a gaming magazine. It was when Flight Simulator X came out.
Mhm.
So Flight Simulator 10 came out. And I remember it was this really at the time, this gorgeous shot of like this plane going over like the African desert. And you could see like the different like lions and tigers and giraffes there and everything.
Oh my.
And then like yeah, exactly. And then like in the bottom of the corner, it just says like, it goes, this is actual in-game footage. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, this one looks absolutely gorgeous.
Mhm.
This was probably the highest fidelity game we saw at the conference. Ethan, you even asked before the show if this was one that was 8K.
I thought
or
I
something.
saw like a thing for them like saying it pushed 8K.
I wouldn't.
You mean AK?
8K?
I said
8K.
But
The
it's
number
it's a game. Put it on your big TV and wow at how good it looks.
It's like the Forza Motorsport series, but for planes.
Yeah, it's like the truck. It's like a
Yeah,
truck
so
simulator, farm
It's
simulator.
not like you're jumping in like a fighter jet kind of thing. It's
No.
more like, ooh, what would it be like
If I was
to
actually
fly
flying
this
this
commercial
plane.
airliner?
Yeah, this plane
or
will not
this
be
cargo
easy to
plane
take
and stuff.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very cool. I did read one of the things that they're doing with this is going to utilize a lot of their Azure server processing and stuff to get like real time geographical data.
Yeah, you were
From-
definitely flying over like locations
Yeah.
in the world.
But as far as like stuff like they'll have like actual flight patterns and things in there,
like flight paths and
yeah,
stuff.
weather systems and
that's
stuff,
cool.
and like the way that things down to like how the tide is going to look at the right
Nice.
time of day in the right part of the world.
Thomas Middleditch is a really big flight.
You're not going to
simulator fan.
land that
Yeah.
plane the first time, people.
This is one where normally I would not pick this up, but I think this is a prime thing for Game Pass. Like that's going to be
I'd come
super
over and
cool.
watch you play it.
Yeah, to just pull that up and
Put it
and
on the AK
go fly
or
somewhere,
put it on
yeah.
the OLED
On
and
the-
just
on the
On
what?
the AK?
The AK?
Yeah,
What?
exactly.
Yeah, so that was pretty surprising to see. Next game we got Psychonauts 2.
Looks
actual
cool.
gameplay for
Stuff.
this.
Yeah.
Definitely looks fun if you played the old Psychonauts game, or even if you didn't actually. That's one of those things. Like
It's
Tim
about
Schafer, his games are
time.
kind of like you like them or you don't sort of thing. Right now, we have a tentative release window that we're thinking late 2019, maybe 2020. I don't think we have an actual nailed down date for that. But this led into the announcement that Double Fine, the studio behind the Psychonauts games, a lot of the old point and click adventure games and stuff, like Grim Fandango was one, Full Throttle, but they have been acquired by Microsoft Studios.
Proper, yeah.
So you may feel one way or the other about that, but I'm pretty happy actually. I think
they have a steady
cool.
supply of funding now, I guess.
Yeah, but the big thing is, Broken Age. That was the one I couldn't think of. They were one of the first big Kickstarter success stories where they just put up, hey, we're Double Fine. They've been an indie studio forever until now that they've been acquired by Microsoft.
I might be remembering this wrong, but since Double Fine got acquired by Microsoft, does this mean this is going to come out on Games Pass?
That's up in the air. Probably.
I think everything is going to come out on Games Pass.
Yeah, because it'll still come out to other platforms that they like. Tim Schafer was very clear that like, we're still fulfilling our obligations and stuff. This is going to come out on all the platforms we said it would. But yeah, I think. Because now because Ninja Theory got bought, and so now Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice is on Game Pass. We have the Outer
Wilds.
No, not Outer Wilds. The other one,
Outworlds.
Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds.
I do that all the time. That's going to be on Game Pass day one. Yeah.
Okay.
That's one too. Actually, I think you can go on to Game Pass or on the Xbox Store now and pre-order it, quote unquote, so that it preloads day one, and you'll have that on Game Pass if you are a subscriber on Xbox. But yeah, that was a neat little acquisition. I kind of thought they'd have a more high profile one to announce at E3 compared to the way they were talking. Double Fine's not really who I think of when I'm like, oh sweet, big studio acquisition.
They had nothing.
Now this one's going to be a little nerdy. This one's for the real nerds out there.
This got me hyped when I saw it. I was like, yeah, boy.
I'm interested by this, but wouldn't say I'm necessarily hyped.
So Project Z,
get the fuck out.
A Dragon Ball Z action RPG was hinted at with a teaser trailer earlier this year. Today it got named Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. They're definitely scraping the bottom of the barrel with these titles.
Yeah, not a great name.
But they had a quick story trailer. Looked like every other Dragon Ball Z game you've probably played since the PS2 years. But IGN had an awesome gameplay demo with the director of the game.
I need to go and watch that.
You're going to fight Frieza.
It's a bit more open world. It's going from the beginning of Z all the way to the end. So they're not making you buy the sequel to fight Cell and Boo or anything.
Oh, really? That's good.
Z
but do I get to go to GT?
No GT, no Super.
Boo.
It's in the name. It says Dragon Ball Z. And the director even said that.
Okay, fair enough.
Max Schofield asked, he was like, well, so are we going to go into the movies? Or are we going to go into Super at all? And he was like, well, the name is Dragon Ball Z, so that's about the scope of the game that we have planned. Max kind of laughed. I was like, well, fair enough. But yeah, if you're into Dragon Ball Z, this actually looks a little cooler than what they showed in the story trailer. It is kind of open world, lots of side questing.
Did they show any combat?
Collecting some
lots of combat. The combat this was not a CGI trailer actually. What you saw in the story trailer
all gameplay.
Was just a HUD-less gameplay section, but this one was a little more.
So it's going to be like action RPG. So you're
action RPG. You're leveling up Goku.
Right.
It actually, if you can imagine,
do they show off like a skill tree or anything,
system looks like. No, they didn't get into all that. But yeah, it's an action RPG. You can imagine what that is.
I got you.
Next up, 12 minutes.
Awesome game.
Did you see the trailer for this one?
Saw this. Looks great.
Yeah, I don't know.
It had my eyes glued to the screen while I was watching the trailer.
Yeah, so this one had a super awesome art style. Kind of basic,
top down.
It's top down, but is it like straight top down?
I thought it looked a little bit.
I thought it was skewed a little, like
maybe
like
some of the shots were a little tilted.
Yeah, but it's almost like entirely top down. You're looking over your room like it's like if you took the roof off your living room and you're looking straight down.
It
seemed like each one is like a room, and that's the level, or that's the
So I don't know exactly how. I mean, they left it very open interpretation, but it's a quick little thriller. Essentially, the concept is that you're controlling the main guy.
Yeah, what does it say?
You are in an apartment with either your wife or your girlfriend, I believe, and he's been living this moment over and over again, and all he knows is that at some point during these next few moments, someone's going to come knock on the door and they kill you.
The tagline is a man trapped in a time loop.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And so
and you're aware about it at some point.
You don't really get a whole lot of a hint in how much player agency you have, or if it's like one story and you're kind of playing through it.
Or if you're even the bad guy or the good guy.
Yeah.
So is it like, do you have 12 minutes until the guy comes?
I believe it's just every time it seems to be 12 minutes before your wife
dies. Something happens. We don't really know. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the way the trailer is cut, it's very suspenseful. suspenseful. The design of it and everything.
The tone is very.
It looks very cool. It reminds me a lot of that movie Enter the Void, where the way the camera is after the main character dies, like it's just over the top of everything, and like it looks super cool. It was another one of those like standout, like this is clearly different from everything else they're showing today. Definitely worth taking a look into that. Then we got Gears 5.
Wait, there's a game I wanted to mention. Sorry.
Oh, what's up?
It's a game for you actually. It was called Way to the Woods.
See, I didn't include that because I don't know how I feel about it.
Really?
It just looked kind of.
I thought that looked like a one that you would definitely. It's got like a little exploring kind of a narrative like feel to it.
It felt too much like, hey, let's try to be this year's journey.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I feel like if
you
you're
love
trying,
that shit.
No, like
You eat that shit up.
felt too try hard to me. Just a little too.
I thought
try
it looked
hard.
really cute. The aspect
fine.
of like light and stuff
It's
like that.
one that I
and-
feel like it's going to come out and they're going to want me to pay $40 for it. And I'm going to go, ha. No, thank you. I'll wait till it's thrown into a humble bundle.
Deers are cute.
Gears are cute. Yeah, so Gears 5, what a bad fucking reveal.
I didn't.
Well,
I
it's not
didn't
even
watch
a
it.
reveal
We
because they
didn't
showed
get-
it last time.
We didn't get any gameplay, did we?
Yeah.
No.
Just
This is another
a
game that
huge
comes out this year.
CGI movie of blood and action and a song, like a badass rock song. That was it.
Even that wasn't even technically a rock song because
I don't
that's
know.
Billie Eilish.
Whatever.
I love that song.
Well,
There's
it was-
a weird, like, slowed down, chopped up version of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. This comes out September 10th.
So soon.
This was the game where you're like convinced that this is going to be Microsoft's big blowout thing for this conference.
And what was the beginning part of the trailer where it's like her
the beginning was just her
face
head and like I
it's
guess
like
what she's dealing with and like mentally
internally
inside.
or something?
That
but
was the whole trailer.
I
Everything else was multiplayer.
didn't understand. Oh, that's right. The other part was the
Everything
escape
else we
thing.
saw was the escape trailer, the CGI fucking trailer. We didn't even see gameplay for that, except that we know Xavier Woods was there backstage
I'm
playing it,
actually
but we don't get to
more
actually
mad
watch it until later.
at this moment.
Yeah, no, it was terrible. It was a terrible review. This is like this is one of the things I think I said when I was like, they're going to open this conference with Gears 5 and close it with Halo Infinite or something, and the Gears 5 is going to be like this sweet look at the campaign or something. They showed us less gameplay than they showed us last year when they revealed it.
It's true.
And again, this is out in September. I just don't understand. I don't understand the thought process at all. This is one where it was like, this is officially when I checked out of the show. I was like, okay, so we're not getting anything. We're not getting anything interesting this year. Whatever. Yeah. Talk about multiplayer, the new escape mode. Looks like they said that horde mode's coming. Like we
It's
didn't know it was
zombos.
happening.
I never really liked
It's
horde mode.
zombies.
It got boring.
That's
it got
all
boring
it
to me
is
after a minute.
zombies.
Yeah.
It's just fucking
Incredibly disappointing.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
all I have to say.
agreed.
Disappointing, but I'm still looking forward to it.
Really?
I played Gears 4. I liked it. I had a
Alright.
blast with it. I enjoyed the story. I'm interested to see how this
I'm
goes.
looking
to
forward
look
to it
for-
as much as I'm looking forward to Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
I'm
enough.
thinking this is a studio again where it's like the people that really cared about your games, they don't make these games anymore because they told the story, they ended it, and then Microsoft couldn't come up with a new IP. This is still just like the problem that they've had over this entire generation rearing its ugly head. Because Coalition they made Gears 4, they made Gears 5. This is not Epic Games, who, of course, now are making Fortnite. They've long parted from Microsoft and Gears. And then same thing, it's 343 Industries making Halo Infinite, not Bungie, the people that made the story and that really cared.
Yeah, but 343 made Reach, right?
No, that was Bungie.
Oh, oops.
Yeah, Reach, that was their last, that was their send-off.
Yeah, that, well,
Reach
that was
actually
kind of.
had Destiny stuff in it. Like, it
Ideas.
was little,
Did it really?
yeah, it had a couple little Easter eggs.
That's funny.
You could find literally the Traveler on a poster in
That's
Halo
actually
Reach.
kinda cool.
Yeah, one of the multiplayer maps.
So yeah, fucking Gears of War. Fuck it.
Yeah, and then
September
actually,
10th. But
I'll go ahead and throw in here too. I think, did I even put it in there? Gears Pop, who gives a shit? I thought I had
Yeah.
that in here. And
Fuck
I
that
don't
game.
see it now. But
Don't know why it's a thing.
oh, nobody cares about Gears Pop.
Is
That's
that the
what I wrote.
mobile? Right?
Yeah, it's like a well, I think it's mobile. It might even come on Xbox. I don't
Ah,
know.
whatever.
What is it going to be?
looks
A
like some
tactics
mobile
kind of
game.
thing?
I don't know.
Anyway,
Don't
all right,
care.
Forza Horizon, Legos, big whoop. I don't know.
Hey, see, I like their expansions.
Legos, why?
Legos are cool.
I
I feel like they could do
but-
like
I like
some
Legos.
like cool maps with that or something, or cool racetracks. You
They're
know,
gonna do a ton of cool stuff.
I guess. Yeah,
See,
they're
I-
going to do a ton
I
of
threw
Legos.
that
it's
in
going to
there
be
because-
vibrant. It's going to be pretty. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I love the Forza Horizon games. They just scream pure fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Legos
game's
are
great.
also
I just
super
didn't. I guess
fun.
I didn't see the point, but whatever.
I thought
mean,
it was cool.
that's
I
cool.
actually got really excited when they had. I laughed so hard when the first. I don't know if Drew saw this trailer, but you did.
Probably.
When the first Lego vehicle pulls up,
When the guy
and
turns his
they
head.
slow down,
Yeah,
and then
that's funny.
they start playing "Everything Is Awesome" for the rest of the trailer. Oh my god,
That's pretty
this one it's totally for me. Like I'm not gonna play the shit out of it, but I love
Sure,
Forza
but it's a
Horizon
fun. It's a
4.
fun.
You're
little
gonna pick
thing
it up
to
and
do.
I'm
enjoy
definitely
your
gonna
time
buy that
with it,
DLC. Yeah, like
Okay.
that. I like Horizon a lot.
Fantasy Star Online 2. I was actually excited about this. I had a little touch with Fantasy Star Online back in believe the GameCube days.
I played VSO on the Dreamcast.
Nice. Oh, maybe it was the Dreamcast a little bit too. And I just remember that was
That's why
some
I
of
had the little broadband boot up disc.
that was some of the earliest RPG stuff I got into.
Yeah.
It was cool stuff.
Yeah, this is neat. This game came out in 2012 in Japan
Fucking crazy.
on Windows PC and PlayStation 3.
You'd have to look
Might have been
that up.
PC only, and then eventually came to PS4 in Japan. But this was kind of dead in the water for a long time. I
Yes.
think everyone had given up that this was ever going to happen. I'm not huge
They had
on the Fantasy
they
Star
had a few
series.
like side story games, didn't they? Where it wasn't like a
there's other Fantasy Star games.
Yeah, but they're not well received, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, they have their audience.
The audience that likes them,
their base
likes them.
audience,
Yeah.
but it didn't expand outside of that.
Yeah, but online, this was just one that I think they originally announced an English version in 2013, and then it just never happened. I don't know if it's one of those things no one really knows what happened. It was probably just, could have been localization issues, could have been that, like you said, those other Fantasy Star games weren't selling well in the US.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of went radio silent. And this was definitely one where Microsoft went to them with a check and was like, hey, we'll publish this game. We will fund localization. Just let us put it on Xbox One.
Now you have it on Xbox and PC only.
Yep. It's
Oh,
not coming to
I
PS4
did
in the West,
not-
even though it's on PS4 in Japan.
I'm
Yeah,
very
that's what I was
disappointed
about
because
to
I
ask.
saw that they were pushing the online crossplay, and I figured,
Crossplay between PC
yeah,
and Xbox
no,
One.
I guess that's what I missed.
Yeah,
out.
that's it. Like I said, that's one where it's kind of similar to Bayonetta 2
Well, now I'm
on
very
Switch.
disappointed.
I mean, it's similar to Bayonetta 2 on Switch, where this game would not have happened if Microsoft hadn't stepped in and said, "Hey, we'll cover the cost, localize it, let us put it on our platform."
Okay.
So that's coming. That'll be neat. I did have a little note on here about the new Xbox Elite controller. They announced that.
I saw that. That looked the trailer's cool.
For the people
What
that
can I
like those
say?
controllers, yeah, that'll
The
be neat
trailer's
to have.
Dope as fuck. But like
It's a
other than
better
that,
version.
it's probably like a $260 controller.
It's $180.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah, that's an insane
for a
amount.
controller.
The current Elite
Not to
controller,
mention-
I think, is $150.
Not
and
to mention
sometimes
what you have
it's on
to
sale for
buy
$130.
piece like parts for it if you want to change it
No,
up.
it comes with those
Oh,
parts.
okay. All right.
It's
That's cool.
modular
That's-
when you get it, so it comes with the additional
That's fine.
thumb pads and
Whatever.
then like you can
Triggers and whatnot.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
But if you
it's-
break them or if you lose them, you got to buy
see,
extras.
that's the problem. Is that I've read a lot of horror stories with people going through like multiple Elite controllers because of like the grips
like
going-
pieces or like the actual like bulk of it.
I think like just different components of
Yeah.
it, but it's enough where it's like you have to, like you can't go to Walmart and buy the new rubber grips
No, you have
on
to-
your controller. You
probably
have to
have to
send it
order
to
them,
them,
yeah.
or buy a new controller. And I've just heard a lot of issues where it's like stick drift will happen and just. And I want to preface and say it's the typical internet thing where no one writes in and says, "Ooh, I've had my Elite controller for 2 years and it's never failed me once."
Yeah.
You only hear problems.
Sure.
You don't have people coming on to Yelp and saying, "Oh, this restaurant is the best. They've never done me wrong." You've got the people that are like pissed off, 1 stars, motherfucker. I want to speak to your manager.
I mean, with that though, like if you're buying a controller that the parts are interchangeable and they change out and you're going to be doing it often, probably kind of should expect a little wear and tear more than normal, I guess. Maybe.
no, when you buy a $150 controller, you should know that you bought a more premium product that is not going to die as fast.
I guess
as
that's
your
true,
$60
yeah.
controller.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe the build quality is going to go up with this. It's just, I hope so. But I just thought that was neat that hopefully that's the 2 is because it's like, hey, we're addressing this. This is like a
Yeah.
whole new manufacturing process. On top of that, they also announced Game Pass Ultimate, which is a awesome program. Drew and I are very excited about this. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is Xbox Live Gold, your online subscription service with games with gold every month. Game Pass for Xbox and Game Pass for PC for $15 a month. That's awesome.
And that's the ultimate version. They do have a $9.90 month or $9.99 a month.
Yeah,
for-
$10 a month is typical Game Pass, but that's separate from Xbox Live Gold.
Oh, okay.
You'd have to get gold as well.
And Xbox.
And
the
Xbox
PC,
PC.
Game Pass for
Yeah.
PC.
So the other one's a better deal, definitely.
Yeah, if you want all 3 of these, this is a great bundle because Xbox Game Pass for PC by itself is $5 a month if you want access to that. So of course, if you don't have an Xbox, you don't have to buy gold. So that would $5
Sure,
a month for
yeah.
Game Pass on PC would be the way to go. But that's such a good move for crossplay right there, like being able to move from your Xbox One to your PC. Game Pass is such a huge fucking like deal on Xbox as well.
There's so many great games.
I
man.
downloaded no less than 10 games on PC as soon as they announced this and I activated mine. Like it's awesome. There's so many more things that like I would like the freedom of being able to play it on my computer when I want to and I wouldn't necessarily check it out on my Xbox, but
Ori.
that's a great path. Yeah, or being able to play Ori now, which never got an X enhancement. That means I can play it at 4K on my computer, output that to my TV It's just awesome to have those selections
Have a good time.
and those choices. Yeah, next up we had Tales of Arise.
I kind of spaced out with this because I
Didn't know what it was.
I really didn't. I saw Tales, and I was like, okay, I think that might be part of the Tales series. And then I was like, I remember Symphony well. Okay, cool. And then I moved on.
This is definitely one that I'm pretty excited about. We won't have to sit on this one too long. It was cool to see something where the graphic fidelity has clearly gone way up. It's keeping its same style. This is like a very beloved series. Been going on almost as long as like the Final Fantasy games. If y'all don't know that this started out on the Super Nintendo. So cool to see that get some love. Like seeing it at the Xbox conference. It's good to see that they're getting some of these games. This is of course coming to PS4 as well. But Borderlands 3, got another look at that. It's more Borderlands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks pretty.
Sure.
I'm excited for it.
This was actually one too that was a CGI trailer, even though they had a gameplay trailer that they showed during the PC gaming show. So I don't know why, and it was a really good one. I don't know why the fuck they didn't just show the gameplay trailer instead of the C. Maybe they didn't want to like.
Maybe PC gaming had dibs. I don't know.
This is just another. When at first I was like, okay, cool, Borderlands trailer, more Borderlands, and then I saw the gameplay trailer, and it got me way more excited.
Yeah,
you saw gameplay, you saw how these crazy guns are going to interact with the environment and the enemies you're fighting and stuff. I don't know why that trailer wasn't in the conference. That was just another dumb move. Dibs, maybe it was dibs. Maybe Microsoft was like, "Hey, we got a thing going on right now.
E3, we abide by the rules of dibs.
Okay, so no real shit. You're gonna make the rest of these CGI trailers look bad."
Now, here at the Absent Minded podcast, myself, Ethan, I consider myself the Dark Souls person, the Soulsborne man, and
how we had to get to that close to.
Did the sexy CGI trailer get you hot and bothered, Ethan?
More than you would ever imagine.
So stupid. It's another trailer. We don't know anything about the.
We
know there's a ring. There was a ring. The ring was smashed. We saw that in the trailer.
You know what we have versus all that other stuff that we saw just CGI trailers for? Pedigree. Miyazaki and, for the most part, George R. R. Martin have not let us down in storytelling.
Hey, you gave me shit earlier about Halo Infinite. Supposedly they got pedigree. Still a boring CGI trailer.
Now see, with the whole thing with the 343 and Bungie, you're correct there. Their pedigree is long gone. These two men have proven themselves time and time again. I'm excited.
Do you think when the game comes out, it'll be finished?
Yes, because Miyazaki will make sure it's finished.
He's reining him in a little bit?
Yes.
Now, is it going to shit the bed in the last few hours?
That's not George R. R. Martin's fault. He's not involved with season 8.
I'm just saying, well, when George R. R. Martin clearly gives up on writing the story as Hideo Miyazaki or whatever.
He's not going to let him. No.
Hidetaki, sorry.
He's not going to let him.
Hidetaki-san.
Miyazaki-san. But no, he's not going to let him. These two men are masters of storytelling, masters of world building. This game can be no less than amazing.
So as far as you're concerned, it could have just been the Elder Scrolls 6 mountain shot, but it said Elden Ring over it, and you would have been happy.
Why do you
with
have to bring Elder Scrolls into this?
Because this is what this could have been. It was just another CGI trailer.
It could have literally just said Bloodborne with like scratches over it, and then just said George R. R. Martin, Miyazaki made a game, and like in pen, and I would have been like, oh fuck. So we'll get more on this later, and we'll have it at another time with more Soulsborne stuff.
They talked about Project Scarlet. They said everything you wanted to hear.
Every buzzword you could think of.
Not a single piece of gameplay, not a single piece of footage, nothing related to what's running on it.
Like anything.
We didn't even get the cool video they gave us for Scorpio when they like zoomed over the render of all the parts that are going to be in it. Like that's how far away this thing is. I don't know. Project Scarlet's coming. Maybe hype. Bethesda conference. I have here, what does this say? Let me get my glasses. What a fucking drag. Are you kidding me?
Is that really?
What the fuck?
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow. I mean, the way it started for sure.
Yeah, we actually watched this one live. We came when we got back from St. Arnold and I was toasted.
Yeah.
So okay. I was quite drunk by the time we got here to watch this. So I was primed and ready for a sweet ass conference.
I'm not gonna lie, I watched the entirety of Bethesda and Ubisoft, all of the rest of that stuff. This notebook is fucking blank for those.
I have
nothing.
Updates
I wrote
for
down
games
nothing.
we don't care about. CGI trailers that tell you nothing for the new announcements. Doom Eternal looks hype as fuck. Drew probably liked the Wolfenstein stuff. I don't know.
I will say, all right, can I bring a Fallout 76?
Fairly
please?
accurate.
If you have to.
I'm going to. Because while I don't think he apologized enough for the abortion.
Did he at all? Because there was actually... So Easy Allies.
He joked at the apology.
Easy Allies does something great every year where they have a betting game where they do what we did with predictions, but they place bets. They make fake money. Everyone has like a set amount of money.
That's great.
And they bet money on all these different
money.
predictions.
That's great.
Yeah,
and this year they
great.
involved the community. And one of the questions that the community put forward so that they could get odds on it was, will Todd Howard apologize for Fallout 76? And a lot of them bet no. So I want to know, did he actually say the words "I'm sorry"?
No, I think he admitted.
So, Damiani made a lot of money.
He probably said something like Fallout 76 wasn't like up to snuff at launch.
I think
But
he
no, like,
admitted to like
heartfelt
some
apology.
but he
No,
admitted
I'm
to like
sorry.
some
nothing.
wrongdoings, but yeah, no flat out apology whatsoever.
Because on IGN Unfiltered, which a podcast that they do over there with Ryan McCaffrey, where they get like some talks with the devs and stuff.
Yeah.
Todd Howard was on the most recent episode, and he flat out was like, I mean, we knew that this game wasn't ready. We knew
Ouch.
it probably wasn't going to be good.
Oh my
What?
We knew
God.
the Metacritic was not going to be good.
Get out
But
of here!
like we had to put
you
like he was
monster.
so just like up
Smug
front
about it?
Whoa.
and just like, oh my god, it
What
made
a
me so mad.
monster!
It made you asked for $60 for this game for people.
But okay, so they're bringing NPCs back. If anything, this is just a good move. Like there was no reason to not do it in the first place. But
see, you wouldn't be saying that if you were playing something like a Destiny 1 or a 2, where you're
Right,
a lot harsher on it.
expected
Where you
NPCs.
spent money on something and then you actually felt a certain way.
I didn't spend money on this.
If you bought this game and there were no NPCs in it, you wouldn't be like, oh, well, that's nice that they're adding them now. You'd be like, who the fuck left NPCs out of my Fallout
I wouldn't
game?
buy a game without NPCs in it.
I'm just saying. Fuck
So,
that game.
NPCs brought back. That's the only thing that I took from that. There was nothing else redeemable from what else they were doing. Everything else he said was a lie.
If we have to go long, does it have to be because of Fallout
No,
76?
you can cut this if you really don't like it.
I don't want to cut it. I just don't want to talk about it.
And then okay,
Like
and then
Travis said,
just
fuck this game. We don't need to say
and then
any more
just
about
like
it.
the fire battle royale looked cool to me. But other than that,
Yeah, that
get outta
looks
here.
so fucking tacked on, man.
Well, sure, yeah, but
Just-
it just looked kind of cool.
I forgot
anyway,
about Fallout 76 Battle Royale.
anyway, back to Bethesda.
No, off of Bethesda. That's it. That's
That was it.
That's the
Wait,
ribbon
Drew,
on it.
you don't want to talk about Wolfenstein New Blood?
I mean, it looks cool. It's got some
hot chicks kill Nazis.
It's got some cool parts to it. But I feel like it's just gonna fall in like when I got the hype for New Blood, because like
Old Blood. Or-
Wolfenstein New
You mean New Colossus?
New
New
Colossus.
Colossus. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Excuse me. I'm
sorry.
sorry about that. With New Colossus, whenever they announced it, they showed that really cool part of the trailer where like you're in some downtown suburb and like the parade's going along and you go into the diner and you get that confrontation by the Nazi and you kill him and everything. I mean, that shit looked hype as fuck when you watched it, but like whenever you actually played the game, it was like that was a very small part of it. And the rest of the time you were just in corridors, sneaking around, which is fine. The gunplay in that game is great. But I wanted something a little more worldly, if that makes sense. You know, I wanted to feel like I was actually in that world.
More immersion.
More
Yeah.
immersion. Thank you very much. And I feel like that's what we're gonna get with Youngbloods. You know, I feel like it's gonna lure us in with like some cool, gimmick CGI cutscene, but again, we're just gonna be a corridor shooter.
I kind of felt just like the theme. Just, oh man, that looks so cool. But then in actuality, just baited. Just baited.
I just don't care. Ubisoft. Let's get on something we care about. Watch Dogs Legion. It's real. It looks fucking cool. A lot of interesting things going on in that trailer. Gameplay
Old
trailer,
lady
by the
kicking
way.
ass.
Not
Looks cool.
CGI.
Looks cool.
Gameplay.
Yeah, you got lots of gameplay. Only gameplay.
Yes.
Dude, yeah. I mean, like whenever that old lady pulled out like the spider drone, I was like, "What
See,
the fuck?"
The old lady is what sold it for me because,
yeah.
like, clearly she had her own animations. She moved differently. Her melee attacks are not the same as the other people.
yeah, exactly. She has her own way of attacking.
Fully voice acted. Like, what the fuck? I do. Obviously, there's some sort of trick in here because the whole tagline is that like any NPC can be
Playable.
brought into your hacker group
Uh-huh.
and be played.
Your posse.
Obviously they got to have some shortcuts there somewhere.
Yeah, there's
I
no
don't-
way every NPC.
I don't know exactly where what we saw fits in. Like if maybe a few of these in the beginning are like your actual like voice.
I'm sure you
characters
have a
and stuff.
standard like starting group, and then you
Yeah, and then as
branch
you
out.
go, like it's
you
less
can
and less
recruit people or something.
unique dialogue or whatever with the
Yeah.
different characters and stuff. The presentation was awesome. I'm a huge fan of Watch Dogs. I loved the second one. Liked the first one for what it was. I feel like it kind of got a little bit more hate than it deserved just for the time it came out and it being a cross-gen game.
Yeah,
and all
I will
that.
say, like, agree with everything you said. Like, this trailer got me hype as fuck. I didn't like Watch Dogs 1, played Watch Dogs 2, which was definitely an improvement, but I never finished it. But watching this trailer makes me want to go back and actually beat Watch Dogs 2 so I can be ready for 3 and everything.
Well, honestly, you probably don't have to play the other. This is one where these games are pretty separate. They're obviously in the same world.
I'm not like talking about for story wise or anything like that. It's just I just want to like play that game again.
I think if you didn't, because I know one of the big turnoffs for a lot of people for 2 was the characters, that they didn't like how they were kind of over the top cartoony.
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too.
It has personality.
I'm excited that 3 or Legion, sorry.
You said it.
It's Watch Dogs 3. Yeah.
You said it.
All right, you got me. You got me. We
it.
were arguing about this during the pre-show. I was like, if it was Watch Dogs 3, they'd call it Watch Dogs 3. It's Watch Dogs 3. I think the atmosphere that they're setting up is going to be awesome. I love the gritty post-Brexit
Vaporwave as fuck.
Yeah. I think it's got a lot more of the tone of the first Watch Dogs combined with like still some of the wacky aspects of 2, where it's not taking itself too seriously. Nothing but good things to say about this whole reveal. I'm very excited for this.
Old lady stuff. Awesome.
It looks great. Yeah. Finally, that old lady from the Captain Marvel trailer is getting her revenge. You know what I'm saying?
How dare you?
When Brie Larson punches
I know
the
what you're
scroll.
talking about.
Plus, that was a good guy the whole time. We
So
didn't even know.
Brawlhalla gets Finn and Jake from Adventure Time.
I don't care.
That was the only thing I saw out of this list that I was like, what the
Cool
fuck?
crossover. Probably never
Also,
gonna play Brawlhalla.
That show is dead. They finished it. Like,
Yeah, when
4 years
that was
ago.
one where I was tuned out and I was on my computer for a second and I
you
heard
heard,
him and I
it's
turned and I was
Adventure
like,
Time.
they're making a new Adventure Time game?
Yeah,
and
they
then
like-
it was like, oh no, it's just DLC.
They finished that show. Why would you bring that up now? Like, that fan base is... Those people have moved on to new projects that have their own following now. Why would you bring this like old stuff? I don't know.
That's a weird one.
Yeah.
The rest of the conference probably not as hyped for me as the Watch Dogs reveal. That we saw new
if you
content
like-
for Siege. That's
yeah,
gonna be
if you
cool.
like Rainbow Six.
For basically for all your games of the service stuff that Ubisoft has gotten so good at.
Zombies.
If you care about those, you're getting new
You're
things.
getting
from those.
zombies.
From what?
in Siege.
Everything.
Everything's got zombies.
Everything's getting zombies.
For Honor, you had that cool new that update. For
It looks like a story DLC or kind of.
Probably. We got a new trailer for Ghost Recon Breakpoint. This is a sequel to Wildlands, which came out either last year or the year before. This is the one that revealed John Baronshaw is going to be in this. A lot of celebs this year.
It looked cool. You're very you're very much the underdog in this.
Yeah.
So you're kind of not like, decked out.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are decked out. You're being hunted. It's kind of nerve-wracking. So it's a little bit different than what the normal thing is. Not really my thing, but if you like that, check it out.
Next up, we got Rainbow Six Quarantine, which is basically just Rainbow Six Siege, but PvE instead of PvP. Looks really cool to me.
Was this zombies?
This one, presumably,
They're probably going to be zombies.
This is the one where the trailer opens
Zombies?
up. Oh, I don't. Yeah, that's right. Ubisoft's conference. I don't think you got to see much of.
No, Ubisoft. No, I definitely watched this.
This is the one
probably
where it
just
starts
wasn't-
off first person and like this guy's clearly getting sick, like something's moving up his arm or whatever.
Oh, and he's got the bracelet on and
Yeah.
it's going off. Yeah, no, I
and
saw
then
this.
his team is able to come
Yeah,
in
and
and
then
get
they
him
break
out.
out. Yeah, okay.
So what
Yeah,
you're
zombies.
fighting and stuff, I don't know if it's zombies. I don't know if it's probably something. Some
No,
type of infected
so when I
thing or
instead of
whatever.
saying zombies, because we might not be, just might not what they
we
call them.
freakers.
They call them zombos.
Like
'cause,
Days Gone.
No, they're walkers.
No, they're
They're screechers,
undead.
they're crawlers,
They're biters.
fighters,
deadheads.
untalkers. What do you want to,
Next up, Division 2, Year 2 content rundown. We saw what was coming out for Episode 2 and Episode 3, which is both will be coming out this year.
It's kind of just a talkie though. There wasn't.
Yeah,
really,
there's just more. They showed off some locations that you'll be going to. Basically, they handed it.
They announced
the maps
their year 2
expanding
plan.
a
But this
little.
wasn't anything they didn't already have out there. Like I knew of all that stuff.
Did we know about Episode 3? The whole thing going back to New York in the summertime.
Okay,
No, we
I
didn't-
think
we didn't
saw
know that. That
I think we
was,
saw shots of like a dirty, like clouded city. I don't know if it was clear that it was New York, but I think I do remember seeing on one of the banners. I could be wrong. Episode 3 might have been like covered out actually, but I think I remember seeing definitely Episode 2. I knew that stuff.
So real quick, Uplay Plus announced. That's going to be Uplay's like Game Pass subscription. PC only right now. I think I saw it was $15 a month, which is kind of pricey, but something cool that they're doing is when you subscribe to this thing, you get the ultimate editions of every game on their service.
Wow.
So not only do you get the base game, you get the season pass.
So some of those games you could be getting really good value.
Imagine basically you'd paid $15 the month that Assassin's Creed Odyssey came out. That means you would
get
have
their
gotten Assassin's
Ultimate
Creed 3 at a
Edition?
time. Basically the version that is the game plus the season pass, and then
Wow.
any of the extra cosmetics that would have came
Some
with
of those
the
can
digital
be
deluxe.
$70, $100
$100 on a lot of the ultimate editions. Yeah. So I thought that was cool. I think it's also kind of smart because that means you're telling people, hey, not only do you get this base game, you get the season pass. That means you're going to have
options.
Now you've got a reason to come back in a month or two. This solves the problem of, say, you have a cool game that comes out on Game Pass on Xbox, and you're like, cool, I'm going to wait till this month, subscribe, play through this entire fucking game, and then unsubscribe, and boom, I got to play Gears 5 for $10. Whereas now they're saying you could do that, but hey, we got all this cool DLC coming out in a couple weeks after launch. We got another big pack coming out next month. If that's enough to tie you into that, keep you on the rope for it, to keep some of those 1 month people strung on a little longer. I just thought that was neat. I hope they expand it to the other platforms, because right now it is PC only. They revealed their new IP, Roller Champions. It's like Rocket League, but you're on skates. You're going around circles. It's kind of like a sports ball thingy.
I saw a GIF of that where it was not running well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's an alpha right now.
Yeah,
it's
of
another word.
course.
Yeah, who knows? I think a lot of these games, like the sports ones, they don't look great because they're targeting 60 hertz, but maybe it's only running at 40 right now. That's the thing where optimization can come in. They can work that out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But don't have a whole lot to say about that. Just that is another one that got leaked before E3. The last thing they showed was Gods and Monsters.
So what's that?
This is the new game from the same people that did Odyssey.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a little more cartoony, more simplistic graphics. Almost looks cel-shaded, I think, maybe. But it looks like it's just a new kind of action RPG, but maybe not like 100-hour Assassin's Creed game that delves into Greek mythology and stuff. If you had to ask me, it feels like Ubisoft went to this team. What kind of Assassin's Creed would you like to do? They said Greek mythology and put out the Assassin's Creed game. And then they're like, actually, we really liked all the research we did on the Greek mythology. We like to make another game, but we don't want to make another Assassin's Creed right away. So I think this might be a smaller like UB Arts project. It was another CGI trailer. They didn't show any gameplay really, but it looked kind of interesting, but not a whole lot to say about it.
So Devolver Digital. Never watched a Devolver Digital.
Fucking crazy.
First off, it starts just batshit nuts.
Oh yeah, because you've missed 2 episodes basically.
Yes, so I did not really know what happened.
The lore.
I just saw the whole. Basically, it's Terminator. I mean, RoboCop.
Yeah,
yeah, and I didn't know who this lady was. Why they were subjecting
She's
her
the CEO of
to
Devolver
this
Digital.
fucking rings of fire. Basically,
you should watch the previous 2 years.
I should, because I had such a good time.
Shorter.
This was the most well done
It's my highlight every E3 now.
Yeah, it was.
Dude, they're so good.
It was the best presentation
So
of the whole
fucking good.
E3. It had the most everything.
Pizzazz.
Yeah, everything.
The gotcha.
Including some of the games. I mean, let's what do we got here?
Carry On. I thought that looked fucking
Carry On was
sick.
probably it's like a Dead Cells dungeon, like,
but like 16-bit
yeah,
side scroller kind of thing.
yeah,
Metroidvania kind of thing.
Metroidvania,
Kind of,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't know what the gameplay is if it's Metroidvania and you're collecting stuff. But did you see this trailer at all?
No, I didn't see any.
Like
I didn't miss the
absorbing
Devolver conference.
people.
Yeah,
like,
the tagline is that it's reverse horror. So it
Everybody
starts out
loves
in
being
this
the monster.
laboratory where they're doing some sort of experiment on something.
It starts out what?
Reverse horror.
Okay.
So the idea is that you play this monster that has been like, I think they were like growing something or
Okay.
whatever, and it
some
the
kind of
monster
symbiote.
Carry On breaks out of whatever thing that they're doing and just goes on a killing
Just
ramp.
fucking ape
So imagine,
shit.
yeah, it's Alien the movie or whatever, but you're the alien.
You're like a tentacle creature.
Yeah,
or
it's like
something.
this bloody tentacle thing that rips through these labs and stuff, and it's
So
not
can
like,
you
like
evolve?
platforming and stuff.
Yeah, you get
it looks
bigger,
Like you
it
get
looks
bigger.
like.
I don't know if it's because of the people you eat or if you like
There's some kind of
find
something
other shit in the lab that,
makes you
maybe
get
makes
bigger,
you
yeah.
more powerful or whatever.
your food.
But
or
it's not like kind of like Skill Tree where like you go in and choose your
No,
modification.
nothing like that.
Not
Okay.
that we
Doesn't look
saw.
like it, yeah.
There could be some sort of RPG elements where you improve.
I don't think so. If you play Devolver games, you know that it's going to have one hook, and that hook is you're this fucking gruesome monster, and it's super brutal and violent, and
Yeah.
you're going around destroying shit and ripping through these scientists. And I assume as the game gets harder, they pull out more and more weaponry
Yeah,
because
fire,
the whole time, of course, they're
bullets.
trying to contain you and put you down. So that's where the reverse horror comes in: is you are the monster and you're going through and just like rip. It looks super fucking cool.
That looks fucking
love this
dope.
kind
I
of
like
stuff.
that concept,
Yeah,
man.
it
It's
looks really
awesome.
cool.
And then Devolver Bootleg. This was really funny.
I thought this was a joke.
It's a real thing. You can download it right now.
I couldn't tell what was like serious and what was like part of the bits.
So one
that
of the
was
bits
the best part
from Devolver is they're like, we're embracing the gray market of key resellers. And this is like a PC thing I'm sure you've seen where it's like there's all these sites where you can go and get cheap keys
Like
for
Green
like
Man.
Steam games and stuff. Yeah, or like G2A or whatever. They're like, why fight these people? Let's embrace it. So now we've created our own bootleg video game called Devolver Bootleg, where it's an 8-in-1 bundle of off-brand versions of their own game. So you buy this, and it's got like Hotland Milwaukee and Enter the Gun Dungeon.
Yeah, Enter the Gun Dungeon.
It's just 8 games.
The Absolvers.
Absolver.
Yeah, that was the good.
It's hilarious.
Wait, so it's like, did they?
It's just a bundle of
I didn't
games.
understand if it was a joke or not.
I assume they're like cut
They
down
didn't
shorter
make.
versions.
Did they actually make these games, or
Yes.
did they like?
Yeah, they just
They showed Entered the Gun.
They showed Hotline Milwaukee. Like, it's like more 8-bit, like almost looks like the versions where you'd like go buy those all-in-one video game consoles, and they have like Mario but not Mario, where it's like they changed the sprites.
Yeah.
It looks like that, and it's 8 games, and you can get on Steam now
Like
for like
Sonic,
$10
but
or
he's
whatever.
Like brown or something, like it's just
it was hilarious.
Yeah.
That's fucking
great.
ridiculous.
Yeah, and then they're actually releasing a light gun arcade cabinet for Enter the Gungeon.
oh, that's right.
This
That
is
looked-
going into
that looked
arcades.
so cool.
It's
It
a
had
light gun shooter.
It was a pistol shooter with like actual gun.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so cool.
I
Love a
They-
good light gun game,
They
man.
didn't quite make it clear if it was a cabinet you could actually buy, like they'll be selling them, or if they're just going to be putting them in arcades and barcades around the
I think
country
she
and stuff.
did mention that they wanted people to have them in their homes.
That
too.
would be super cool because it
Again,
looks like small enough, like you could
tell
put in your
what
living
was
room.
a joke and what was a fucking.
That's the
bit.
so funny thing is that like they do this at all their conferences where like all the games they show are legit, but everything around it is like so fucked up that you don't really know
it
what's
was
happening.
Just so funny.
So that was cool. They're doing an expansion for the Messenger, which is this cool side-scrolling platforming ninja combat game or whatever. I believe the expansion is called Picnic Panic. So it's like a
Yes.
summertime like beach expansion for the Messenger. The Messenger actually is super cool. If you haven't played it, that's on Game Pass. You can now play it on PC as well as Xbox if you have a Game Pass subscription. And then finally, My Friend Pedro gets a release date, June 20th on PC and Switch. This game, I know you saw it last year. It's like a run and gun, bullet time or bullet hell / bullet time shooter. If you didn't see it, you play this guy. You're
Was this
running
the
through like a train car.
Oh yeah, okay.
jumping
Yeah,
over
yeah, yeah.
stuff,
I saw
nailing
him
like
this
these
one.
crazy
That was
shots.
it looked cool.
It looked cool, but and then the gameplay they showed last year too had like way different environments and stuff. So it looks super fun and awesome. Like this is a typical Devolver game where you're gonna get hours of fun out of this. It's probably gonna be like $20 maybe. It's gonna be a perfect game to play on Switch, especially when people look over your shoulder like, "What the fuck is that thing you're playing?" Like,
Yeah, it's just like, did you just do a triple backflip?
gonna be
like
awesome.
headshot
It was-
2 guys and
yeah,
then shoot a
it was cool.
frying pan and that bullet ricocheted? Like,
Yeah, so Devolver always does some cool stuff. Definitely support that publisher if you can. And now we're on to Square Enix, which was probably had the biggest announcements for us.
Like I said earlier, I think Square Enix was the best conference. They knocked it out. It was great. I loved it.
Looking down at this list, there's still plenty of like,
Sure, okay, yeah, but they had the most things that I was like, yes,
Also, no Final
I
Fantasy
want that.
16. So what was the point?
The point was 7 and 8. That was and Shadowbringers.
What was the
Final
point?
Fantasy
come
just
on, man. We were
brought it.
all there for Dragon Quest Builders 2. Don't beat around the bush.
Yeah.
So we got a new trailer and announcement date for Final Fantasy VII, the remake. It's coming out on March 3rd of 2020. And guys, this fucking trailer looks amazing. Like, I got to say, as a guy who's Final Fantasy VII is just like my favorite game of all time, probably.
Told you on Slack, I teared up almost immediately.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. And just
can't
like
help it.
seeing their recreations and how still like faithful they are to the originals of him like walking around Midgar, to the inside of the Mako reactors, to the enemy designs. Like those boss fights look like
What they should look
yes,
like.
what they should look like. Like you remember, like you know how you'll see those memes where it's just like this is what the game looked like back in the day, but this is what I thought it looked like.
Yeah.
This is like that true to form.
Dude, that's already happened with this latest trailer. Have y'all seen the comparisons of how good this looks
Yes.
compared to
Yeah.
the first reveal?
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Which already
Oh,
we were
no,
all
I
like,
didn't see that.
No, well, because they had like when they first revealed the
Uh-huh.
trailer back when CyberConnect 2 was the one working on it.
Mm-hmm.
There's some good side by sides of like Aerith and Cloud and how
Right.
they looked back then
Okay.
to like now.
Right.
Like the graphical update is insane just from what was already like looking to be one of the prettiest games I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
And now it looks even better. Like this is on point. This could not be hitting all of my little fanboy marks any better.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like I'm impressed that they're from what we've seen in the trailer, they're adding new story content, but it doesn't seem forced.
Yeah.
Like it seems really good. You know, in the main game, you don't really you don't go rescue Jessie somewhere and like she gives you some materia.
Yeah, so many cool side characters in 7 where it's like you like their design, you like the aesthetic, you like the art that's in the little booklet.
Oh,
but
yeah.
we don't see a whole lot of them. Like not
It's
as
like
much
now-
as we like
Expansion
to.
of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now like they're all just fully fleshed out and everyone looks so fucking good.
Probably what they wanted to do and just
Oh yeah,
you couldn't.
that was already one of the biggest games ever
Yes,
released at that
so
point.
much in there
of course there
already.
were technological
Yeah.
limitations. We do know for sure that it's been reconfirmed that this is just part 1 and it's just going to be Midgar.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask about that. Yeah, I didn't hear about that. So this is coming out on still episodic 2 discs. So what do you mean like it's only going to
We
be in
assume
Midgar?
this is going to have some sort of a stopping point and a to be continue that
Yeah.
ends when you leave Midgar.
Yeah.
Okay. So is the entire 2 discs going to be Midgar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I said 2
Okay.
discs, that was just something they dropped. I think just to give people an idea of the scope and like how much data is going into this.
I guess they're trying to say just because it is Midgar, it's not small.
Right.
They don't
Exactly,
want
yeah.
you to think it's small because it's one
I think
location.
the best comparison is that like the only 2 disc game that I can think of that we have this generation is Red Dead Redemption 2.
Was it a 2 disc game?
Yeah.
No shit.
A lot of y'all don't know because y'all
'Cause I
have
have it- I bought it
digitally.
Yeah, I bought it
But
digitally.
actually,
Yes,
because of how
that's
big the file
true.
size was, I was like, it's quicker for me just to go to Best Buy right now and buy the disc and install it because my internet sucks than it would be to download it and then I'd have to play it tomorrow.
So how's it broken into 2 sides? Is it like a single player and a multiplayer?
No, so the way since every disc these days, like you install all of them from disc, you just the disc is just like a key that says, "Hey, you own this game." It's like a PC game where you just have 2 parts and then they unzip and then it's one big installation.
Oh, okay.
It's not like one. You're not swapping any discs.
Yeah, I assume there'll
Disc
be
swap.
one big climax at the end of the first disc, and
No,
then
that's
you'll
what I'm
move-
saying. That's not how it works. When you played Red Dead Redemption 2, was there a specific big climax where like the second? It's all one seamless.
Well, like I
thing.
said, I downloaded it, so I don't understand.
It's, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's literally just it's like having 2 zip drives, and there's
But
like
when
half
you-
of the album is on one and half is on
But
the
Oh
other.
yeah, so you download the first part
Yeah,
and
it's
you
still
download the
one
second
long
part.
album.
Okay.
But okay, so what disc do you put in when you're playing the game then?
Either.
Oh, either one.
As long as you have one, that's your license that says that you own
all
the
right.
game.
That was because like
Because
you
that's
know,
like if you
'cause
buy
you
it.
do still have to have a disc while you're playing the game, and
Exactly.
I didn't know if it was connected to the. But okay,
No. Like if you finish installing it and you have disc 2 in, then it's the same with like Red
Sure,
Dead Redemption 2.
okay.
You can just boot from disc 2, you leave that in, or the next time you start playing, if you want to put in disc 1, it just needs that disc because that way,
It's got the like
since
you said,
it
it's got
installs the whole game.
it's got the key to the lock.
Yeah, you can't. That way, you can't rent the game, install it, and then like take
Right.
the game back or
Sure.
return the game. It needs
'Cause you
to
still
see
need
that
the
disc
game.
is there
Yeah.
to get it going. Yeah, we finally saw Tifa. That was
Oh
one they were
my
holding back for some
God.
reason.
Amazing.
I
Which
was
I
so
don't know why
good.
they held it back because it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's so good.
They had to have a little.
Did anyone
I guess,
else?
but, like,
I had to leave a little.
Did anyone
Oh,
else
it's so
kind of
good.
laugh whenever they were in the scene at the bar and it's just eggs and chips?
Oh, I know. Yeah. Because that's the sign that was in the
Yeah,
game.
it's
Like,
Was
it?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what because the little sign, the textures in
But
the
you
game.
can't read it because it's so just.
No, you can because it was like a big CGI pre-rendered background
Oh,
on Final Fantasy 1.
I guess I just never-
Because there's plenty of places when you're walking around Midgar, like you see the sign just says bar, and it has
Yeah,
like a little
bar.
a mug.
You probably may have just not noticed.
But
it.
I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
that-
exactly.
That's part of what you're talking about with the authenticity, but just like modernizing it, where it's like we're not gonna go and like make like a new slogan. It said eggs and chips. Like that's what it, that's what
what
the
it
sign
said.
says. So boom, that's what the fucking.
And you know
sign
what?
says.
This
Cloud's wearing a dress. We're gonna put him in a dress.
That's exactly
How
what I
good
was
is that scene
thinking. I
gonna
was
be
just
in
about to
this?
say. I'm kind of excited
I
for
hope
that.
it's a whole like dress up mini game.
Also, speaking about Tifa, just like her dolphin kick that you saw in the game looks so good,
Looks good.
along with Cloud's cross slash. Like, dude, I like again, you know,
the battle
looking
system,
back to the
really
original
excited
game.
about that. It looks really good.
Yeah, they look like the perfect amalgamation of what they've been working on since 12.
perfect
Yeah,
combo
absolutely.
of classic RPG, turn-based versus action.
Yeah.
Real time.
I read a comment that like basically said that like this looks like the perfect idea of ATB like finally realized.
Yeah, it's
Like,
great.
and I agree completely.
I said I was worried about button mashing because the man said, your basic attack with Cloud's sword is going to be hitting the square button. That's going to build ATB to do, magic
and special
combos,
attacks and stuff,
your
yeah.
slashes, whatever.
Oh, so you're not gonna have like just MP?
No.
No, it's all based on your ATB gauge. Your ATB is essentially your MP, and then you have your materia that you attach to your equipment is what gives you access to different skills and magic and stuff like that. What I liked about it, I think the most is obviously as you level up and stuff, that ATB gauge is probably going to get bigger. You're probably going to have more to work with.
Right, absolutely.
Bring in more
You're going to get
faster
different
or something.
materials
Yeah.
that you can combo together
And
to
if
get
I
some
had
sort
to
of
guess,
effects.
I don't think it's going to be as simple as pressing square. I think directional movement of your stick will have part to do with it too. Kind of like in 15, where like you hold square to be attacking and stuff. But if you were holding forward, he'd do a forward moving attack.
Oh, right.
If you held backward, he'd do like a backwards jump slash. Left and right directional. I think you'll be able to. I think it'll be more than just tap square.
Yeah,
I think you'll be able to move in different directions and stuff. So you'll be able to mess with that combat and maybe string together some more interesting combos. than they were able to
You know,
if you
like
look
someone
now-
does like a forward attack, but you dodge back and dodge it.
No,
Go
like
for a
what I'm
strike,
saying
gain
is
more
your
ATB.
square button is your attack button. He's going to do different things depending on like how many times you've pressed it or whatever. Your animations are going to be
press it,
different, but
yeah.
you're
I just
still
know
going to be
that
doing a
when
basic
people hear,
attack.
oh, you just tap square, then like they kind of like, ugh.
No, actually, if you looked at
I know you were surprised that like because that's exactly what
and
your
I
worry was.
saw it, but
Yeah.
it looked the ATB gauge filled plenty fast. That my concerns were immediately washed away. But what I noticed is if you actually look at the way the menu system is clicking and triggering back and forth between his specials, his magic, and everything else, it's almost like 14 with the cross hotbar.
Yeah.
And using the L1 and the R button to click it back and forth. Because whenever he did a couple of attacks, his ATB gauge would fill up. He would click it, or I assumed he held one of the front triggers. The menu changed to the other one, but not completely changed. You just hovered over a new menu, clicked what you want, you switched right back, just like 14, honestly.
And like I said, 12 was similar, and I mean 14 adapted a lot of 12's combat
and
mechanics
they've
too.
really hit a stride with that. So it's not surprising that they took elements from what works.
Yeah, they've just been iterating and
Yeah.
iterating and iterating, and I think I'm happy with what we've seen so far.
Great. Super polished. That's what it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, anything else for Final Fantasy VII?
Can't wait.
Yeah,
It's
just
not-
can't
not-
wait
Just
for
can't
it.
not
wait, yeah.
soon
Yeah.
enough.
What a fucked up release window from basically September until April of just
It's
so
stacked.
many fucking games. I know we say that every year. This one feels particularly egregious.
They're all fighting for,
God, it's
supremacy.
gonna be rough.
Final Fantasy VIII remastered. I am excited for this one, Final Fantasy
Yep.
VIII. I think it at below 10 is probably my favorite. It's the second one, I guess.
It's got the most teenage angst. I'll tell you that right now.
This is one that I never played, so I guess I mean this is a perfect excuse to go back to it.
And you'll be getting it on Switch day one this time. It's not going to be like, PS4 first and later on Xbox or PC or Switch. They're all going to come out all at the same time.
What I was missing with 7, in my opinion, it was the love story. Like you had one, but
The hopeless romantic.
you know
over
what
here.
happens in 8? There's that there's that relationship. You guys have that moment when you're dancing and everything. It's really romantic. It's kind of awkward a little bit too because you're like, oh, does she or doesn't she? Yeah, it felt like more adult. It had like, I don't know. I love 8. It's so triple triad.
I love those damn card games. I can't stand them. Yeah, I'm very excited about this one. Of course, people have been wondering why this one took so long. We got like almost every other mainland Final Fantasy from the PlayStation generation and on like every platform now. Like it doesn't matter if you're playing on PC or Switch. Like basically all you don't have is like 13 on anything but Xbox, but that's neither here nor there. A lot of the reason why, and I told Ethan in the car, we talked about this a little bit, why 8 took so long is that Square said in the past that they basically lost the source code.
Really?
Yeah, like the actual engine code for the game and the original assets and stuff were just gone. Like
Some guy
they've been looking for them.
Took it home with him. And
No, not
forgot
even that
about
so
it.
much as just
Just
like
misplaced.
the way data worked back then and stuff. Like we don't have couldn't just back that shit up to Amazon Web
Yeah.
Services or Google Drive
It was
or
on
whatever.
you'd have to back it up onto a
Probably
server
had a zip
or,
drive
or some
that
sort of
hopefully
drive.
You made a few copies of it, and then you've got it in like an archive somewhere. And then you move
Wow.
office buildings. You think you consolidate everything, and you're always losing something every time you move. And
Well, what did they do?
so we don't know yet. They actually haven't talked. I'm
Oh.
hoping this is something where they do some interviews.
Yeah.
And it's something
Do a
too
cool
where
little documentary
when you
about
look
it.
at the trailer and the gameplay video, because we see a lot of the video, like the pre-rendered FMVs, we see a lot of that in the trailer, and we see some battle shots and
There's
stuff.
some,
but we don't
there's
see any exploration of environments, and we don't see those pre-rendered
the overworlds.
backgrounds. Yeah. Like when you go into a city and you get those nice detailed pre-rendered backgrounds that we used to have, we don't see any of that. That's the only thing that has me a little worried. Obviously, the models they were able to.
The models look great.
The models are look great.
Comparison shots are
That's something
incredible.
that you can go into the game data and like kind of extract the models. And a lot of the reason why they look so good is that they have different like quality level of models depending on whether you're in the overworld, whether you're in a gameplay scene, whether you're in a cutscene, whatever. And so they could obviously always, like for the remaster, they could just always use the best model. So that was
Leon's hair. I mean, I hate to say
they probably did some texture work.
It almost looks a little
those.
different than like there's a little couple of pieces that are a little bit different than what the original is, but it's so detailed. He looks so much like what you expect Leon to look like. I don't care.
I'm very excited for this. The other big thing is whether or not the sound is going to be quite right. The PC version always had like a weird,
just like effects.
like the music, because the PS1 version used like MIDI sound, and they used lower quality MP3s or something, WAV files or something like that on the PC version. It's possible they could have just reverse engineered all this stuff and were able to finally like crack the code and get it running well and not buggy and stuff. But it'll be interesting. But that was one thing that stuck out to me, was that we didn't see any of these world maps or any of the pre-rendered backgrounds.
I was so excited I didn't pay attention.
I was pretty excited, and I'm like, what's the catch? Because I just knew how many issues they were having because they've been trying to do this for years. So I'm glad it's happening, but I wonder if this might be in any way a compromised version of the game. But we're going to stay hopeful. We're going to keep our fingers crossed. Kingdom Hearts 3, we actually already talked about this earlier with my predictions. Like new DLC, we knew it was coming, but they showed us an actual trailer of it now. It's coming in the winter. That's cool. I like Kingdom Hearts 3. No one else wants to play it.
They're always so secretive about everything.
The Last Remnant is finally coming to Switch. I say finally. I didn't know it was going to happen. I didn't expect it. I don't think y'all ever played The Last Remnant.
I don't think I'm thinking of
no idea what
correct one it is.
You might not. This was a Square Enix PS3 RPG that came out around 2008, I want to say.
Isn't this the one that what's his face on PlayStation Access loves like religiously?
Probably, because there is a
Rob,
strong fan base of this game.
One. Sorry, Rob.
It came out on PC not long ago, and then it got remastered and put on PS4. I think it might be on Xbox One, but now it's coming to Switch. It's a solid RPG. Yeah, the problem with it is that it's super hard and super grindy. But the people that like this game swear by it.
There are people that love their grindy.
Yeah, somehow this game is so long and so grindy. And then there's something about it, the people that it grips, like they don't care. They play this game over and over and over and over again. So it's cool that's coming to Switch. Always like seeing these kind of things come out there. Dragon Quest Builders 2. I just threw that out there because I didn't know if you played it at all.
You brought it up earlier.
It's a joke.
Was that a joke?
Yeah.
I thought he loves Dragon Builders 2.
It's Minecraft, but with Dragon Quest. Oh. And I actually... This is one too. If it's coming to PS4, right? Wasn't Builders 1 on PS4?
I have no idea.
I wouldn't mind checking it out because it's kind of like if Minecraft had a story campaign. Like, and you have quests, you have things to do.
Isn't it just Harvest Moon without like with more
kind of,
stuff?
But it is more building and stuff. It's more like Minecrafty building. Like you're building your town, you're deciding how it's going to look and stuff. It's cute, it's fun. I know it's popular on Switch because it's a good game to like turn on and play for a little while. Now, Ethan, I guess
Shadowbringers.
Should we all go get dinner and we'll meet Ethan back in about 10 minutes?
Yeah, you guys want to leave? I'll talk. I'll do another hour on Shadowbringers.
But yeah, Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. We'd had trailers before, but this is the launch trailer.
We had teaser trailers. We had
We had the cool like CGI dope ass cutscene that they put for all of these expansions,
and that was in the trailer too.
Yeah,
there was part. I guess that was a lead up into the trailer.
Because some of it I thought I'd seen before, but then it got to like actual like your quest givers and you're talking.
Yeah, we got some dialogue with this one. A couple of shots of some more main characters. A new shot of Ishtola. Some Thinecrad stuff, which is always great in their new job outfits and stuff, or at least for Thinecrad. It's so like.
Is that how you pronounce his name? I always thought it was Thancred.
I think they've said
he's got white hair and he's like the first dude that helps you in the story.
I think they've said
versions.
It in.
I
think they've said it.
I don't know. I've never seen anyone say it.
I can't remember. I'm pretty sure they say
this is one
of
those games where sometimes when they have a voice cutscene and someone says something out loud for the first time, you're like, oh, that's not what I was saying in my head.
Yeah. And some of the voice actors change, so their names kind of can change with them. But
that sucks.
Going back to what we were talking about earlier with Nier Automata and Yoko Taro. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. He was brought in to work on Shadowbringers for story and also for a new 24-man raid.
Oh, so it's the story too, not just the raid.
Yes, no, he was brought in.
You said the raid was going to be kind of like Nier Automata-ish or something.
No, it's in the world.
So it's like a collab or whatever.
It's literally in the world of Nier Automata.
That's super cool. Yeah, I do like what they do with the raids.
It's a 24-man raid series. It's probably going to have 3 parts. It's going to be the end game content at the very end, I assume.
Man, him working on the story, that has me even more hyped because I like what I'm hearing about the story.
It's called Yora Dark Apocalypse. It's going to be gloomy, sad, somber, dark. It looks just great. It looks like there's been some visual updates to maybe some character models a little bit, some just slight detail touches.
Because one of the big things with this release is that when this expansion comes out on Windows PC, you can't play it with the old DirectX 9 renderer anymore. So like you have to upgrade. Like, because up until this point, like if you were still running like Windows XP, you could play this game. And this is another one where it's like they're lopping off those platforms or saying,
Just
hey,
like
get
the
with the times. If
PS3,
you want to play this,
yeah.
you're gonna have to run on the better engine. So I would imagine that means that they can kind of bump up some of these model qualities and environment.
Yeah, because
qualities
some
and
of those
stuff a
like
little.
some of those shots, they just looked better than what we've seen from Stormblood.
Yeah, remember, and it's hard. This is a game that was like made to make sure it could still run on PS3.
Yeah,
and so they're slowly like catching up the rest of the game and leaving some of that stuff behind.
There are points where some of those models, they do look a little outdated, and I'll admit some of those hair textures.
Hey, keeps performance high.
That's great, yeah.
Keeps
but
the 60 FPS.
we saw a lot of
60.
stuff. You know, obviously there's been so much with the interviews and everything that you can all look that up for like really specific details on jobs and everything.
I'm
but
super interested. How about you, Drew?
Oh man, I'm as soon as you guys leave.
He's been writing notes
Oh, yeah.
nonstop.
I wish you guys would jump on the hype train, but it's, you know,
I'm hyped.
it's coming out in like 2 weeks
month.
if you have
Oh, wow, yeah.
2 weeks if you have early access from the pre-order, which
that means I finally get
I
access
definitely do.
to what's the second one that came with it?
Heavensward?
Shadowbringers?
Heavensward.
Or that's the new one, right?
it's Heavenward.
I have Heavensward because they
and
gave
then
that for free.
Stormblood. then.
Stormblood, yeah, I get Stormblood. I get like all kinds of cool stuff from that.
Yeah.
So I pre-ordered it. I'm gonna
it's-
play it eventually. It's gonna take me like 4 years to.
You
get
really
through it all.
should. It's really great.
I've been itching.
You saw the hype. I mean,
Yeah. I
they
told
were
you I started playing Tales of Vesperia or
screaming
whatever.
and chanting
Berseria.
Yoshi P's name when he came out.
Yeah, they
It
were.
was-
I don't know if you saw that. Like,
Oh man,
no one got louder in that conference until when like
couldn't express it anymore. Like that's
until
just,
the director of 14 came out on stage.
Wow.
Everyone
they
started
love their
chanting.
That's
community.
fucking
They
cool.
take care of their players so well. It's great. I'm really excited that this one's that's looking to be. They're just getting better and better with every year. So I'm glad that they're taking it in the right direction. Couldn't be happier. I'm super hyped.
So Outriders. Anyone even remember what this was?
No.
Okay, I'm having a hard time. CGI trailer. People that made Bulletstorm did it. People Can Fly is the name of that studio.
I think I remember some sort of like it looked like
Gritty.
magic-ish.
Yeah, she
Some
like
flash effects or something.
the main
really
character
can't
we
remember.
see is this woman who's got she's got a buzz cut and guns and
What was that game where you were like you were
Magic
out in the
and
wasteland and
shooting.
you controlled little robot
Borderlands?
pets or something? It failed. It did not do.
I don't know.
Anyway.
But yeah, Outriders. Yeah, that's a thing. Go look that up if anything I said sounds interesting.
Avengers, man.
Yeah, Avengers.
Another-
Avengers.
another,
That's how I feel about that.
Another big CGI moment. Really, I don't know. Did we see any actual gameplay?
There's
from
stuff
this?
in there that could be
God,
kind
I
of
feel like I've
considered
said that
gameplay,
all-
but we're not entirely sure.
podcast. Do we see any actual gameplay?
Nope.
No
I don't,
gameplay,
I don't
huh?
think we did.
I
We
mean,
saw some cool shots.
I
Did
hope
we?
it's good. That's all I gotta say is I hope it's good.
There were rumors that I did see floating around that this could be in the same universe as the Spider-Man.
No, it's not.
PlayStation
No,
4 game?
definitely
After
not.
that trailer drop, there's
no way.
I don't know.
It looks like shit. It looks bad. If
That's
you
just
had
because
any hype for that,
Insomniac didn't do it.
no, it's because it looks like shit. Crystal Dynamics has made good games.
Yes,
that
they
look
have.
Great. They did all of the recent Tomb Raider games. Those are gorgeous.
What was the one that was like really like high end that they did? What was that called?
I mean, most recently was the Tomb Raider games.
Yeah,
That's all they've been
It was
working
a
on
little
for the
old.
last
It
few
was
years.
older. I just can't remember what it was.
I mean, they did like the
Crisis. Is that what?
no,
I'm
they
thinking
did that was Crytek. They did
Yeah,
the
you're right.
Legacy of Kain. That's what it
of?
was.
Oh, okay.
But that's like a different studio. Basically,
Yeah,
it's the
yeah.
same name, but like that was with
Yeah.
other people were ahead of that. But yeah, this is another one where it was like this is like Gears 5 all over again for me. This is the moment to blow it out to like show us something really cool, get people really hyped. All it told me was that like these people are stuck in this weird place where they aren't the MCU, but they kind of are. But all these characters look like they modeled fucking the actors in the MCU and had to make them look.
I was saying,
different.
Yeah.
Bruce Banner
Yeah.
looked like Mark
Mark Ruffalo for
in a
sure.
weird way.
Yeah.
They just couldn't pay him enough
Like
to
a
get like
more
the
handsome
actual
Mark
likeness.
Ruffalo.
Black Widow looks fucking weird. Like her character model looks creepy.
Her
Yes, I
hair
wasn't. I
looked
guess I
weird.
didn't pay attention during
And just
very much.
everything about it was just like to follow up Spider-Man with this. And like on top of all the rumored games as a service garbage, when they said this is a massive story, like we're gonna explore over multiple years, I'd like check the fuck out. I was like, oh, okay.
I didn't hear that.
I don't
Yeah, it
remember,
was because they were like, Garrett, all the content's going to be free, which just means we're going to string you along for a really long time until we think we can sell you an Avengers 2. Fuck it. I don't,
Yeah.
I was so wary before, and now I just don't care. They didn't tell you what the game is.
Nope,
we
sure
have
didn't.
no idea how this game
Don't
plays.
know who the bad guy is. Don't know what the threat to the world is. Anything.
Yeah.
Bad showing.
Yep.
bad showing big time. They fucking didn't let me see Final Fantasy 16 because of this shit.
Just let it go, buddy. Just let it go. That was
Yeah.
about it for Square.
Yeah.
They're
Does anyone want to bring up anything about the Nintendo Direct?
I was, like I said, I was at my 9 to 5, my 6 to 2.
No, it's just
And
I got like one thing. If
Surprise
if that's
announcement.
Oh, yeah, please, no,
of the sequel to Breath of the Wild.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I didn't see that.
We're getting the Majora's Mask of this. Of
Is
this
that what it
couple
looked
games.
like?
Yeah, just
It looks
darker.
like-
and
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the enemy is going to be a scary witch lady.
I expected them to do
It's
something
probably
like that.
Ganon
pretty
in a
quick.
mask.
They got this nice new engine. They got to pump out another game pretty fast.
Hmm.
If you like Breath of the Wild, you're gonna like this new one.
I mean, Pokemon Sword and Shield. You said you saw some things about.
Finally watched the trailer.
No, the thing I wanted to bring up that I thought was neat was 2 more characters announced for Super Smash Bros.
Oh yeah.
So the first character being
that's kinda cool.
the base character is going to be the hero from Dragon Quest XI.
The new one, right?
The new one. But you're also going to be able to, I guess, like in game, switch out between, like kind of like how the Pokemon Trainer was, where you can switch between like Bulbasaur and blah blah blah.
Yeah, I saw that. That's my
where you
other
can switch
question,
between the heroes of 1, 4, 8, and 11.
Yeah, all the kind of the major, the
like the really
popular
popular
yeah.
ones. Yeah.
The ones that look like Goku.
Yeah, they're all, and I think they're all going to have like their own they're all
all
going to
look like
attack
Goku.
the same, but like each individual characters are going to
Except
have
the
like
one
you
that
know
looks like
some
Trunks.
defining special attack or something. And I thought that was really cool. He has like an Ultimate Smash where like think like all the heroes from all the games
Yeah.
come out and they all sort of attack together. It looked pretty cool. And then people's
Banjo-
longtime request, Banjo
Fucking
Kazooie,
Kazooie.
is finally coming to Smash. So
Longtime fan favorite.
if you guys,
It's just, he
if
deserved
anybody-
it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let him have it. Sonic got it. We're like Sonic? What? Let's leave Banjo out there, man? Come on.
I'll give a shit about Smash when I can play as Goku.
What? Play Jump Force.
Oh, that game is terrible.
Yeah, dude, I saw the reviews
Is
for
it?
that are not good.
I played the demo
It's
for like
bad.
2 seconds
Runs
because I
like
was like,
poop on everything except for PC, and then
I was like-
after it runs well, you realize it's not a good game.
I was like, can't
it's
pick
really
anybody I want in the roster. Delete. It was demo, but I don't care. Whatever.
The only interest I ever had in that game was I wanted to play as Yusuke, and then I
Yeah.
started watching
Can't play
videos
him
on
in the
it.
demo, so I was like,
Yeah.
fuck it.
So Drew, I do have a question. When's the last time you played Smash?
It's been about a month.
That's all I want to know.
I don't get the point, but okay. I mean, it's,
Because no
it's
one
just
cares. No one cares.
there are a lot.
Obviously,
of
a lot of people
that
care.
care about Smash.
I don't care.
Sure.
I don't think you really care, Drew. And
I thought it
you
was
don't even have a
interesting.
Switch.
I was
I
more-
don't even have a Switch.
I was
may
more
get one for
interested in the
Pokemon.
fact of the hero joining the
Yeah,
cast.
Yeah,
so.
that's kind of cool. What else was there at Nintendo? That was really about it for me.
Yeah.
Like Pokemon is cool that it's coming out, but I'm not really excited about the new mechanics that they're pushing. I really feel like there was something that Nintendo had. Did they get a new like Labo?
No, they didn't announce anything
Wow.
like that.
Disappointment there.
I mean, Dragon Quest XI is coming to the Switch, and it's going to bring, you know, like an old school 8-bit top-down feel, like old school Dragon Quest games. It looks really cool. I mean, I like that kind of view. But other than that, I think that's it.
oh, new model of the Switch at all? Maybe
Nope,
No.
they
like
didn't
a
talk about it at
slim
all.
down version. No, okay.
I did have one little news bit I forgot to bring up because it was not gone over the Xbox conference, but Microsoft announced June 10th that this last update of titles for
Oh,
the
you did
Xbox
mention
One
this,
backwards
yeah.
compatibility program is the final batch of games for the Xbox One. They will not be continuing the program again until the launch of Scarlet. They kind of made it sound like that team is going to make sure that everything that works on Xbox One now will also work on Scarlet day one. Going through, making sure there's no bugs that like aren't crashes and stuff like that. Hopefully they'll do some more backwards compatibility titles in the future to keep adding to that library. Thought it was kind of sad personally because we got like maybe, I think at most 25 of the original Xbox games since they announced, like they only started doing those like last year, the year before. I think it was last E3 when they first started that. So they add a little bit of those. We get some more Xbox 360 backwards compatible titles. Some cool ones though on the original Xbox games. All 4 of the original Xbox Splinter Cell games are now backwards compatible.
That's cool.
That's something I've wanted for a while. So Splinter Cell, Pandora Tomorrow, Chaos Theory, and Double Agent.
And plus, you got that mobile game that you wanted, so that's you bet you're.
Oh
happy
yeah,
about
Elite
that.
Squad. How did we not talk about that from the Ubisoft conference?
What is that?
Don't even
Yeah, I'll look it up.
just make
The
me
first
mad.
shot
Just
is
thinking
actual
the
Sam
only
Fisher,
Sam Fisher we got in
and
the whole conference.
it's
Oh,
a
Some
okay.
shitty fucking mobile game.
Yeah.
Unreal Championship 2, the Leandri conflict. That's another cool one. I'll definitely be picking that one up. And then another cool thing is they actually added for Star Wars Battlefront 1, 2, Knights of the Old Republic, Republic Commando, and all the Splinter Cell games. They added in all of the DLC that came out on Xbox for those games for free.
So you get the
Just
full
as part of the
versions.
title update. Yeah. So like on like Battlefront 2, you're getting all the new maps, the expansions and stuff like that, all for free. Those are just free updates. So that's kind of cool. And then some Xbox One X enhanced updates. I mentioned this one to Drew. All of the Banjo-Kazooie games
Yeah, that's
are
right.
now in 4K.
Nice.
Banjo-Kazooie, Nuts and Bolts, and Banjo-Tooie.
Good for him.
Now, are
getting
these
all the
on
good
Game
stuff
Pass?
for Banjo.
All of these actually in this list were from Rare Replay, which was the Rare Studio, the collection that they put out. And that whole collection is on Game Pass. So yeah, you can get all these for free if you're subscribed to Game Pass, only on Xbox.
Yeah.
Cameo, Elements of Power, that was a launch title for Xbox. That's going to be in 4K now.
I remember that.
Both Perfect Dark games and both Viva Pinata games.
Ooh,
All of those are going to be in 4K now.
I remember when like Viva Pinata first came out on like the 360. It was one of those games where I was just like, holy shit, the colors, you know?
And then a few new additions is the 360 games. Asura's Wrath, one of the games that I dusted off my PS3 to play not long ago. That's going to be Xbox backwards compatible. These are not like 4K ones. These are just new backwards compatible. The final batch. Battlefield 2 Modern Combat. That's a cool one. Enslaved Odyssey to the West, a Ninja Theory game.
I remember that.
That's the multi-platform one they did after Heavenly Sword.
Yeah, I remember being kind of weary of that, thinking it wasn't going to be great, but I watched a video
The
about
first
it,
like hour of that game is fucking incredible.
Yeah, that's what I
It
heard.
still holds up.
Mhm.
And that is a very fun game. I'm definitely going to pick that up and go back and play that. Far Cry Classic, backwards compatible now. Peter Jackson's King Kong, one of the easiest 100% achievement games you can play on Xbox. You just beat the game, you get all the achievement
really?
points. Yeah.
I remember when that game came out, it was like revolutionary because it was one of the first games to introduce
It was
like the no
really
HUD.
pretty, no HUD, very cinematic, looked great, especially for a launch game. Because that was one of out of the whole launch batch, that was definitely the one that was like, this feels like we're not playing on PS2 or Xbox
Right,
anymore.
yeah. And it was those one of those really rare occurrences of a good movie video game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you never get those anymore. Skate, the first one, backwards compatible.
Cool.
Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands, Star Ocean: The Last Hope, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Unreal Tournament 3, and 2 Human, which 2 Human sucked. But they aren't making you pay for that one. You can actually download that one for free right now. It's going to be free forever. That was another weird like launch title that was kind of not reviewed well. I think it had a lot of performance issues and bugs. But presumably the performance issues will be cleared up because you'll be playing that on your Xbox One. Now that's all we got for you.
I was about to say, do you guys have any finishing statements you want to toss in there at the end?
Yeah, next week, Ethan is finally going to give us his thesis, as he states, on the Bloodborne, Souls games, and Sekiro.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a big segment on that next week, I guess. Yeah, we pushed that back because the E3 took precedent. It's important.
Our original plan was to have that 20 minutes of that in here before that, and we're running over 2 hours now. So.
Yeah, no, this was a big one, but this is a big event for us. This is
and we got all the conferences in one time. We thought we were gonna have to cover some of this like next week, but
we can just make a little longer episode and cover it all. So that's good.
Look forward to that, and then of course we'll be covering whatever news happens from this moment on until recording. We'll be sure to cover any of the big topics.
You want to plug anything for yourself personally? You don't usually.
I don't really have.
That's okay.
Actually, I will plug one thing. Go watch Easy Allies. Those guys probably do my favorite E3 coverage every year. Super funny group of dudes. Used to work at Game Trailers. Started their own thing. Very funny guys. A lot of good content. And also, go watch Giant Bomb. They're doing E3 at night right now. A lot of backyard baseball, inside baseball of those guys talking to a lot of other people in the video game industry, from developers to writers and directors and people working at other outlets in the industry. They do some funny stuff and they do a lot of drinking, and it gets better as the night goes on, especially if you drink too.
Drew, do you want to plug anything, bud?
Yeah. Follow Absent Minded Pod on Instagram, and I finally made a new Instagram so you can follow Andrew Loves Video Games on Instagram.
Nice.
Yeah, follow him.
That's a good name. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, both things are pretty bare right now, but I'm going to be working on it. So on some news, I got a capture card. So yeah, video coming soon, some gameplay videos, maybe some Let's Plays.
If you want to follow me on Twitter, at Soulsbjorn is what I'm at with the J. And also my Twitch channel is also Soulsbjorn with a J. I don't stream very much, but maybe I'll try sooner or later.
Yeah, I'm going to try and start streaming more frequently once I get things set up. So once I get that running, I'll plug it.
You know what? You guys have a really good night, really good day, really good tomorrow. We'll catch y'all next week, okay?
Bye-bye, everybody.
Take it
Happy
easy.
E3.
See ya.